Hello there.
Hello, everyone. Let's make sure they can actually hear us before we make fools of ourselves, which I have done before.
I'm just refreshing my tab on mine. There we go.
Yeah, on my end, it looks like we're live. Can you hear both of us, everyone in the audience? Or can you just hear me, or can you not hear me? All right, Codeman says it sounds good. Is the volume good enough? Because Mr. Y-Wing sounds a little bit quiet on my end, but I think that's just my headphones.
It's actually my headset. I have a VR headset. It's pointing probably the wrong way. There we go.
Okay, yeah, you actually sound better now, at least for me. Well, we've got 2 people in the audience that say they can hear both of us, so 3, 4, 5. Hey, Peppy's in the audience. Mr. Toon is in the audience. And I think I saw Toast Mac earlier, so Rob is in the audience. We got two voice actors in the audience. Maybe Estelle will even pop in at some point to say hi. Someone says they can't hear, but I think that's on their end because everyone else is saying they can hear us. This looks like a Zoom meeting for a homicide hearing in court. Is it my messy background?
It's just my due, man. I just got that judge appearance.
Oh, you got the judge appearance?
I even got the Starbucks.
Straswa says, "Hi everyone, how's it going? Love your work, Event Horizon team." Thank you. I guess you're kind of sort of part of the team in a way now. Kind of. Mr. Y-Wing, or would you prefer to go by something else, or should I just call you Mr. Y-Wing guy?
I appreciate it there, Ice Cream Man, but you can call me Adam. That works for me.
Alrighty. I work with so many Adams, it's really funny.
Wow. I never meet any of them. I think I'm the only guy. That's actually quite cool. Let me meet these people.
There are several Adams I work with, including one of the composers, who may or may not be in the audience, actually. Oh, there's... Alright, it looks like everyone can hear us fine. So, hello everyone! Today we're gonna show the little tiny Starfox Event Horizon miniatures that Mr. Adam, or Y-Wing guy, has been working on tirelessly for the last almost 2 months now, or a month and a half? I think since the start of February. So about 2 months now. So yeah, about 2 months ago you approached me with this idea, and I thought it was really awesome, and now that I actually have them in my hands, I don't regret it. Although my webcam is not the best quality, so I don't know how well these are going to actually look in the webcam, but we're going to put together a really nice trailer sometime in the next month, you know, with these on little turntables with your really good recording camera, because, well, mine's not very good.
I gotta make sure our turntable's cleaned up. I actually used it to paint once, so the mirror got all like messed up, so I gotta get a new one.
So I guess let me go to OBS and make my window a little bit bigger, and I'll go ahead and actually right before I do that, you'll just to show how boomer I am to everyone in the audience, I had to do like a weird thing in OBS to get both of our webcams to show, because if you'll notice in the background here, my webcam will not work on Discord today for some reason. But anyway, let me make my webcam bigger, and I'll go ahead and start showing some of these miniatures. I'll start with the Great Fox, because this is the coolest one. And this one technically isn't the same size as the other ones. It's a bit bigger, but I love how this Great Fox turned out. It's so cool. And I remember when he showed me the photos, it looked good, but when I got it in person, I saw all the little details, like the little hangar bay in the back here. Like, pretty much all the details from the actual 3D model made it into the print, and it's really cool. Anyway, let me switch to that with the camera. Does it look good on your guys' end, or is my webcam quality crap? Let me make it even bigger.
It looks alright. I mean, there we go.
Is that better? But let me show some of the actual miniatures. I'll start with the classic Adventures R-Wing. Let's bring that up nice and close. Wow, it looks really blurry. Alright, maybe this wasn't such a great idea. It looks really blurry. I do have some photos I can show that might be a little bit better, but Actually, yeah, the photos will probably be better, but anyway, they all have a nice coat of primer on it, and when I have free time, which will probably be never, I'm gonna try and paint these. But I'll show Crystal's R-Wing. This one's really cool. And it's also bigger. It might show up a little bit better in my blurry webcam. Nah, it still looks blurry. I had a feeling this was gonna happen, that my webcam wasn't high quality enough to show these, but this is just a casual stream, so yeah, these turned out really awesome. So so I guess we should kind of go over what we're even doing, or what the plan even is. Actually, does anyone in the audience have any questions about these? Does anyone in the audience even know what's going on, or is this just kind of out of the blue for everyone?
Do you want me to do some introductions of what we're doing there, Ice Cream?
Sure. I'll let you take it now.
Okay. So my name's Adam. I run a 3D printing. Now I'm messing up. It's been a while since I've been on camera.
No worries.
First of all, hello to everybody from my Discord. You guys know me. Ezra, good to see you again. So on my end, I run a small business in 3D printing. I run a small company called C3D Printing Services. We specialize in bulk order works, prototyping, CAD research, and building, and of course, trinkets and galore. We have way too many licenses. But the one that actually pointed out to me was I saw Mr. Ice Cream's videos on Starfox Horizons, and I kind of I watched it, and I was just like, I don't remember this game, but this is damn good. And I was like, oh, okay, this is a fan game. But then I heard the voices, the one where that's your one where you're flying over Corneria, and I can hear the banter. I can hear the bad guys. I can see the ships. I can see the wide open spaces. I saw the R-Wing, the Mark I, flying through the sky, and you can see contrails. You can see laser blasts. You can actually feel the moment, as tense as it was. Kind of like in Star Fox 64 when you're just coming through the cliffs and you're going through the valleyway, having the ships introduce themselves for the first time to you. That's how I felt. And I'm watching this, and I says, this is more than just a fan game. This is like an echo to my childhood. That's how deep it was. So, what do? I tell my business partner, hey, I'm going to make this guy an offer. Let's try to be a sponsor to this guy. See if he's got a sponsor slot. I would love to support this game.
You had to make me an offer I couldn't refuse. And yeah, I pretty much just, without any questions, I'm like, yeah, this sounds like an awesome idea. I'd love miniatures. What I was thinking when you first approached me, and I have some samples here. I had to buy these because I couldn't find my own. But I was thinking, I don't know if anyone in the audience remembers these from the 90s. The little micro machines of Star Trek and Star Wars. Wow, my webcam looks so blurry. My face doesn't look blurry, but up close it does. But when you approached me, my thinking was like these little micro machines from the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, I like the scale that you decided on better. They're a little bit bigger than the micro machines, but I like the scale a little bit more. But so yeah, you approached me with that, and I'm like, oh my god, yeah, I had those micro machines when I was a kid. Let's do this with Star Fox Event Horizon. Then I think about 2 weeks later, you showed me the prototype, which was actually the Cloud Runner. That was the first one. The translucent, unprimed Cloud Runner, and I'm like, okay, this was a good idea. And then he started doing a few more. Actually, I have where'd the Sharp Claw one go? There it is. We also tested out the Sharp Claw ship from Adventures. That one's going to come later in the series, but
the Cloud Runner, that was a really interesting design. I really like how it's shaped like an airfoil, much kind of like the B2 Spirit in a lot of ways in my mind.
Yeah, the stealth bomber.
Yeah. So when we were building the very first time with your models, turning the object files from the game itself, guys, if you don't know, these are actual game.
Yeah, these are made from the models from the game itself.
Yeah. We took that file. I had to kind of figure out, okay, how do I take a digital file that's literally hollow, turn it solid, make it an STL, and print it at a scale that makes sense. So I did various sizes, and we ended up going off of this old thing. So this is Star Wars X-Wing, if you guys don't know this. But they had miniatures that are really big. And I used to play this way back when Episode 7 came out, but I just basically took the Cloud Runner or this R-Wing, and I put it up against this TIE Defender, or this TIE Bomber.
TIE Bomber, I think.
Yeah,
Nerd
and I
moment.
literally said, "This is my scale. I need to have it this big." And I think I sent you like at least a picture a week, just trying to get those datas right, like the
Yeah.
sizes and everything. I think there's a couple times where like Crystal's like guns didn't even form in the resin print because I had a different angle on it. It's just like terrible. But then I had that one angle and it came out perfect. I'm like, okay, save that file, don't move it. Back in the files you go in the friendlies. The TIE Punisher, thanks, Ezra. Yeah, there it is.
The TIE Punisher. Yeah, no, the scale, I really like the scale. And I even like your sample box that they come in. Maybe this will actually show up in my webcam better. Nope, still a little blurry. But yeah,
So
I like the little sample boxes you made and everything.
So when I reached out to you, said, "Hey, give me the three." If you notice this box here, it's kind of like it looks a little linear, very smooth, very nice. Kind of, I wanted to like project a little bit out of that Star Wars signature as well as its blocky quirkiness. When it came to presentation, like you're our first sponsor-e that my company has personally ever done.
You're the first person who sponsored me.
I'll take the number one. But for us, we wanted to make sure that we're doing a great impression, but we're also like serving a community that you've built. Like this isn't about me. This is about your passion project, and I can see. Like I want to be a part of the push to help it get to where it needs to go. I don't want to be the man. You're the man. So when we're designing these things, I'll be doing a little bit of an adjustment to the tier 3 sample box because I felt like it was a little cramped. I just don't. I know that during transit anything can happen, and yeah, I think I'll make that minor adjustment. But when the tier 3s get these, like we will handle the billing, we will handle the shipping, and we can handle the bulk work because these are very easy to print. We've got the files, we've tested them out. The ones that you supply for your next waves coming up, if you want to show that.
I'll show that in just a minute.
That's going to be our prerogative, is to make sure we keep up with the waves, we keep up with the tier 3s, and we send out those waves accordingly in a certain amount of time.
I guess we should actually say like who and how we're getting these, because yeah, we haven't even, you mentioned tier 3, but basically everyone in the audience, all of these miniatures, they're going to be available for free for anyone who's a high tier patron. So if you're a high tier patron, we haven't worked out all the exact details yet, but at the moment it's every season they get a pack of 3. Is that the current plan?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's like they get that season pack.
And I'll go into what a series or season is. I'm already flip-flopping between what to call them, but we'll go into that in just a minute. But all the high-tier patrons, you'll get a pack of 3 with every season, in air quotes, just for free if you're a high-tier patron. And if you're a mid-tier patron, you'll get a discount on these. And if you're not a Patreon or patron, sometime down the road, probably in a while in the future, these will just become available for sale independently. Or at least some of them will. We're still working out all the details. We'll have like a trailer and like an official announcement for this sometime in May. We're kind of planning to launch these at the end of May. This is kind of just like a casual like stream to kind of prep you guys for these, because we're still hashing out some stuff. But yeah. So that's what were you saying?
Want me to share some of that stuff with them, or you just want to
Sure.
keep it on the download for now? Okay.
No, yeah, maybe we should keep it on the download for now.
Okay, no problem.
I'll go ahead and show like some of the plans we have though. I got the series of everything in the background. Let me bring it up. Oh, might have to shrink our webcams a little bit so that it can actually fit. My ghetto webcams. All right. Well,
by the way, I got the prototype on my end finished. So if you want me to show that big one, I'm willing.
They mean the R-wing, the big R-wing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We'll show that one before we end the stream, and I'll try and make your webcam really big. Anyway, okay, I think I've fit this on here. See, I could see the little Discord X, but whatever. It gives the stream some character. Anyway, so yeah, our plan right now is we haven't decided if it's every 3 months or every 4 months, but we're going to come out with a new series of 3 every few months. And the first ones we're planning are basically all the different R-Wings. Although I haven't finished the armored R-wing, so I just used the little placeholder art there. But if this works out, we're gonna go well beyond just these 9 R-wings. But this is just what we're gonna start with to see if, well, we're not even sure how interested anyone is in all of these. But if this works, we're gonna do way more. We're gonna do a bunch of other craft from the game, and we might even do little character miniatures. We haven't decided yet. I think little crystal miniatures would probably do really well, though.
That's going to be a pretty big one.
From all the different versions of crystal in the game. But for now, just to make sure this all goes well, we're just starting with the 9 R-wings from the game, except for Slippy's.
Yeah, Slippy's is, I think they call it the bullfrog.
Yeah, his will be in one of the later series if these do well. But looking at some of the comments, it seems like people are really interested in this. So this is awesome. Oh yeah, also I meant since some of the voice actors are in the chat, I mentioned it in the voice acting Discord a while ago. But if you're a voice actor and you're not a patron, you can get one of these too. Just message me. We'll get you some of these. I know Toastamac. I know you already messaged me about it, but none of the other voice actors have asked for any yet. So let me know if you guys want one. But yeah, the first 3 we're gonna launch with at the end of May are the all of Fox's R-wings, Series 1 at the top. So the Mark II, the Retrofit from Adventures, and the Mark III. Those will be the first 3 that we launch with.
Yep. Then the R-wing Mark II, Mark I, Phoenix, and Skyclop. I don't have those files yet, but I'm very interested in the R-wing Mark I. It's very pointy.
Oh the Mark I. Yeah, I don't think I haven't sent you the Phoenix yet either. I'll send all of those to you. I mean, I guess that we don't need to rush those ones because we still need to do the first 3. But I think you have the Cloud Runner. Yeah, I haven't sent you the Interceptor yet either, and I need to finish modeling the armored R-wing. Or I'm calling it the R-wing gunship for now because I think that sounds cool. I need to finish that. I started it on a live stream with Estelle, I think, was it 2 weeks ago, and I only made it about halfway through, but I've been so busy lately with, the actual game. I mean, I just finished the second to last Soria level, was it yesterday or the day before? There's only one level for Soria left, and then all the Soria stuff is done. So I'm probably going to have that done by the end of May also, and then there'll be a new version released sometime in June probably. So yeah, 2025 has so far been a pretty good year for Event Horizon.
I think so, man. Like, you're getting a lot of traction. I've been able to just go for, I think, about 2 months now. Started in March, so it'll be about a month. And I could say you guys have a really fun community. Like, you have your basic Patreon, or not your basic Patreon, your basic Discord level. That's pretty vibrant and like activity and such. And your tier 3 levels with Estelle and such.
Yeah.
It feels homey. Like this community that I've gotten to know a little bit is just homey. Like they're fun. They get involved. They love talking about topics. Starfox, Nintendo, Zelda to it.
Yeah, I think today a bunch of people are going on about Zelda. Yeah, Zelda's come up a bit today, and I was even joking with you because you'd mentioned you'd done Zelda miniatures before, and I'm like, man, it's too bad you didn't approach me like 2 years ago. We could do a whole line of like Zelda miniatures for Hyrule Conquest. That would have been cool. I mean, who knows? Maybe down the road, but I don't know. I don't think I'll be going back to working on Hyrule Conquest anytime soon because I'm kind of really into Starfox right now. But but yeah, that I don't know. I might still get you to make just a few little Zelda miniatures for me personally.
Don't be afraid. I've done a few of them. Not miniatures, full scale model kits I've made. The last one I recently did was in Final Fantasy VII.
Oh yeah, you showed me. Was that the Tifa one?
Yeah, it was Tifa, and like my wife would come by. She goes, "What you making?" I'm like, stuff. I don't know how to talk about this one.
You know,
cool.
The Tifa statue you showed me looked really good. So yeah, I actually might commission you for like an actual statue of Norin from my game. We'll see.
Oh, that would be cool.
One thing at a time. There's so much stuff going on. I already see Codeman in the audience wants a Sulcaris miniature.
Is Karis miniature?
Soul Karis from it's from Hyrule Conquest, the Zelda game I used to work on.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I can
Yeah,
take those object files and I can blow them up and then solidify them. That's what I could do.
maybe down the road in several years we'll do some Zelda miniatures. Let's see how the Starfox stuff goes. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
That is okay, man. I get that. So in is it right if I take the lead here for a second, Rice?
Sure, and then after that I'll probably look through the. I see some people asking questions in the audience, so I'll take a look at the
Sure.
audience after you take the lead for a bit.
Yeah, go ahead. All right, you audience.
Oh, right now the audience first?
Yeah. Let's do the
Okay.
audience first. Let's ask some questions here.
Yeah, now I see people asking about freaking Zelda. Yeah, I'm sorry guys. I'm
Zelda's back.
I'm occasionally messing with an Ocarina of Time ROM hack in my spare time, but I'm really just not in the mood for Zelda stuff. So I don't think I'm gonna work on any Zelda projects in the near future. I'm sorry guys, but let me scroll back up to some of the comments. Or the questions. I saw a few questions. Now I'm not seeing them. Damn it. Sorry guys, I lost. If you had questions, ask again because I lost them as the chat scrolled down.
I'm seeing a lot of. I'm thinking requests like R-Wing, Skyclaw, Falco. We got R-Wing, Interceptor, Faye, and then Mayu. Miyu's from the Starfox 2, right?
Yeah, Miyu's R-Wing's actually the Interceptor. I know Miyu and Faye both had the Interceptor in Star Fox 2, but in Event Horizon, Miyu's default R-Wing's going to be the Interceptor, and Faye's is going to be the gunship.
I like Paramystic here. He says, should we declare this ADHD brain stream? That's why I got my coffee, man. I'm trying to align my planets in my head. I've definitely got ADHD.
Almost everyone I work with has ADHD. Estelle's ADHD is really funny and all over the place.
It makes us entertaining. Like, seriously.
As long as the audience is having fun, that's what matters, I suppose. I still see people going on about Hyrule Conquest. But,
Hyrule Conquest. That was the hack and slash game, right?
No, Hyrule Conquest is it's a real-time strategy game. It's kind of like Age of Empires, and more specifically, it was modeled after the Battle for Middle-earth. I don't know if you've ever played that game or not.
I've heard of it. I remember vaguely about it. I remember Age of Empires in college.
Yeah, Age of Empires is a fair comparison, but I worked on that. Originally, it was Hyrule Total War, and then I changed the engine and the name halfway through, but I worked on that for about 10 years. Actually, I think over 10 years. And then about 2 years ago, 3 years ago now, I met Estelle, and then all the Starfox stuff started to explode, and then after a year, I'm like, you know what? The Starfox stuff is doing way better. Everyone seems to like Event Horizon. The Hyrule Conquest stuff kind of was fading, for lack of a better term, and I decided to just stop working on that and go all in on Starfox. So that was like a Zelda project I was working on for over a decade, since 2011.
I remember you talked about that in the last stream you were with Estelle.
Yeah, and then early in 2024 or 2023? I think it was early in 2024 I released kind of like the final version. I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm doing Starfox now, and I've just honestly I'm just sick of Zelda. I've been working on Zelda stuff pretty much nonstop since 2005.
Oh man.
And
yeah,
I don't really enjoy the actual Zelda games anymore. I'm just sick of Zelda. I needed to kind of step away from it, and yeah, Star Fox. I like Star Fox more right now. So I think it was a good decision. The last year has been probably one of the best years of my life in a long time since I kind of walked away from Zelda. I've had a lot more fun with Star Fox.
We got a question here from.
Sure.
I lost it here.
Is it Crystal Kingdom?
Yeah, it was Crystal Kingdom, and it turned into Where Did the Kingdom Go? It's all gone.
At Crystal Kingdom General, do you think we're going to get the Assault Era Wolfins and or the Great Fox? If these do well enough, that yeah, we're gonna have all the different Wolfins. We already have the Great Fox.
Oh yeah.
I guess this one's technically not the miniature. This one's a bigger scale, but
That's if you want, we could talk about that for a little bit.
Oh, the
We can
bigger
start.
scale ones?
Yeah. If you
Sure.
guys have any questions about the bigger scale ones, feel free to throw some at us because I got some answers for you. So the first thing I'll talk about is the Great Fox is a model kit. I've sliced it in my slicer systems. I've added little pegs just so I can connect it together. That Great Fox was the very first time I tried to get it to work. The only thing that didn't fit was the back because I messed up and I forgot to put pegs in there. So don't drop it, please.
I won't.
you might
It's
you
holding
might see the
together
back
pretty
is all
well. Of
dislodged.
course, I drop it immediately after you said that. I mean, I didn't drop it far, but I tried to pick it up and it fell.
It's okay, man. The model kits that we're designing it's kind of like our end of obligations. My company here is like we're supporting Ice Cream Man as we go along. Part of our ongoing talk here is like, so what do we get in return? Of course, because there's always a give and take here. So what we want to do is we want to have those models on our Etsy store, allowing you guys to have a 25% or correction, a 20% discount on your tier 2 level, so you can go and buy it. And if you guys were wondering, this one just finished up here
Yeah, there's
today.
the big R wing from Event
So
Horizon. Yeah, I haven't seen it
good.
put together yet, so I'm seeing this for the first time too.
I
Let
just
me
put
make
it
it
together.
bigger.
Yeah, there you go.
Oops. Let me go to OBS and let me make the webcam bigger so everyone can get a good look at the. I think your webcam's actually blurrier than mine. Wow.
Is it blurry?
Yeah,
Okay,
I think your webcam's actually more blurry than mine.
hang on, it's an Elgato, so it should be better than that. Preoccupied. That's because that's not you. That's Discord. Discord is like, we'll give you the best rate possible.
I mean,
Because
I don't. I think in your webcam, it's actually in focus. It's just the quality overall is a little more pixelated than mine. Mine seems to have higher quality where it's actually focused, but everything else is out of focus in mine, so it looks blurry. But it's good enough, though. Well, you can take really good photos and footage of it later, I
oh yeah.
suppose.
So I'll get this a little close, but what we have here is everything is going to be modular. So you got little holes, you got a little peg inside. You can plug it right in. Oh, there it occurs as I was struggling. Plug it right in. This entire section didn't really fit that well, so I have to figure out like why it didn't fit well. But this is the very first R-Wing model kit prototype that we've made. Finished up this morning.
It's so
Does it
cool.
come colored all the time? We're looking at doing 2 versions. So this takes a lot of filament of different colors to print, and it takes a long time. Like this took like 3 days just to print one. So what we're going to do is we're going to offer like a basic package where it's just like one color, you can paint it yourself, or you can upgrade to the fully colored version, and that way you can, like, it may take a little longer to print, but we have it ready to go. The details that I really enjoy about this particular model, for instance, if you're wondering where the ailerons are, by the way, they actually fell off mid print, so I'm sorry.
Wait, the what fell off?
The ailerons, the
Oh, yeah,
flaps.
the little flap, yeah, the foils.
So like, they're just like hanging off, barely printed. I'm like, okay, well that's an issue I gotta fix. What is the name of the man who's designing the model ships? Ice Cream Man.
Me.
Yeah,
They're the actual models from the game itself. Unless you meant who's printing them, in which case it's Mr. Y-wing guy or Mr. Adam here.
our job is to provide your guys' little miniatures for the tier 3s, and also to provide another source of place where you can actually get these model kits. I'm going to be honest here. When I approached this as well, and I wrote up my document and I sent it to Ice Cream Man, I kind of had to think, what would C3D Printing Services need to provide for the community outside of the game? Because we're helping with this project. We're sending all of this stuff to the tier 3s for free. We cover the shipping. We just going to need addresses and all that jazz to be dated. But when it comes to our store, I was like, man, I would still like to offer something to those who can't really afford, let's say, a tier 3 membership every 3 months or every month, or even a tier 2. So this is our little way of doing it. So giving you guys like a larger model kit for all tiers. The tier 2s and 3s will obviously have that 20% discount that I've discussed. The tier 1s, you guys will eventually have access to these guys down the months as the waves start to go through. So that's in the works. Nothing's been finalized yet. Ian Ice Cream Man will have the details, and we'll let you guys know. But I hope you guys like what you see. these fully colored prints, for instance, have a lot of details from a nose cone. If you flip this upside down, a little fun detail. That's the X-wing nose.
It's the X-wing
I
nose.
was I was holding this in my hand, and I was like, "This is kind of cool." And I flip it, and I'm like, "No way! That's the Bandai X-wing nose. Let's go!"
I told you the story behind that.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's like, oh, it's an Easter egg.
I thought that was a funny little Easter egg to sneak in there.
Details like on the laser cannons, I made sure that our prints are pretty precise. We have
Yeah, I'll make it big
wires.
again. I was when you showed me when you were printing out that part and I saw the little cannons. I don't know if it's even going to show up in the webcam, but actually I could probably just go get the photo and put it in the background. But yeah, you can see the little wires in the cannons. It's hard to see in the webcam.
It's okay. Let's try that. Is that better?
It's hard. Let me just go get the photo. I have it. I'll put the photo in the background. The little wiring detail in the cannons looks really good. I was blown away. Anyway, let me go back to Discord.
So just a heads up to everybody that's going to be looking at buying or investing into a tier 3 and such. So the tier 3s, we're not going to be sending these painted. I just don't have the time to do it honestly on my end. I can prime them, I can get them set up, but the painting will be on you guys. It will come with a little stand, so you can actually have them just like a Star Wars X-Wing, where you have the miniature. It'll have a stand. These guys here will also have a stand when we start working on things. I'll show you the stand, what it's going to look like. We actually have one of our own prototype Apparoids that we're working on still. So here's the 64. This was designed by another guy, but we created the stand for this so we could set up right now. Right now, we're still talking to this fellow about like having this model within our inventory, but this stand will be the same one that we'll use for this guy here, on a more smaller base, of course. This was huge.
I got the photo with the little details now on the gun with all the wires and everything.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah.
I was like, holy crap! All the little wires on the gun showed up and everything. So some of the other models, if that you might do at this scale, all the little details that might show up. I don't know. It's gonna be awesome.
Mr. Torlencio, sorry if I just said that wrong. It says Starfox Horizon should beat GTA 6. It would be the best Starfox event Horizon game that you have a lot of popularity before Nintendo Series.
Well, if it comes to that sad outcome, we got our backup plan where we'll change the names of everything and we'll do all that. And then if that doesn't happen, we're still gonna do our own original thing after anyway. So.
I got a question here from Crystal. Crystal came in general. I was wondering if you could ever 3D print planes from Project Wingman, the VX-23 and the PW Mark 1. Yes, if someone has like the STL file or a object file, we do print like models that you need to get done. So basically, you're like buying a printer almost from us, so you can have that print time and we get that done for you. That way, we don't have to worry about licensing issues or anything. It's like this is your file. We're just a source that you can make it an actual product in your hands. On a side note, I have been considering doing some voice tries for the old panda, the panda dog there. So.
Oh, for was it Yaru Dupont?
Yeah. Like,
and still I don't think anyone's tried for him yet, so he's open still.
I might give him a shot. I don't know if my voice is going to be where it needs to be, but I'll give him a shot. Because his background is pretty interesting to me. He's playing both sides of the war, and I'm like, I never knew that. He was just the trainer guy.
Yeah, that's not something I came up with. That's in the actual freaking Starfox 64. Yaru Dupont was selling weapons to both Corneria and Venom. See, that's.
I mean, like this. Business is business.
It's little details like that. To me that's the stuff that I'm sorry, I'm trying not to go on a rant about Starfox right now, but the thing about Starfox that's kind of always bothered me is except in a few instances they're never actually treated as mercenaries and the setting's never really treated as a setting with mercenaries, but that little detail kind of is perfect for that. The fact that one of the notable characters is actually playing both sides and selling weapons to both sides of the war. That's a nice little detail I like.
I mean, like, when there's profit to be made, it's profit to be made. It's like, you just gotta do what you gotta do, man. When it comes to that character, I'm kind of looking at him as, like, how would I voice this guy? Because I'm an honest guy. I really like being like being nice and also being a man, all that jazz. But I have to put my shoes into like a perspective where I can play both worlds. That's kind of fun. Like that looks really fun. Like kind of like not the storekeeper, because the storekeeper from Adventures is hilarious. I
You
always
pay
thought his
this
voice was,
much.
like, yeah, he's just walking around saying meow. Like whenever he did that, it made me laugh hard because it reminded me of one of my friends that like my real life friends, and he kind of sound like that.
Now, Kyle's voicing the shopkeeper. I don't think he's in the audience today though. He's been in the audience for the last few streams though, but he's voicing the
Sound like a
shopkeeper.
Ferengi. Okay,
Yeah, he does
the
kind of. Yeah, he kind of reminds me of a
Yeah.
Ferengi from Star Trek.
I don't know. As a kid growing up, and I remember seeing the Ferengi, I was
He kind of sounds like the Grand Nagus a little bit. Quack!
yeah. Jeez, I forgot about those guys. They were supposed to be like the main villain at one point, and then like Star Trek characters were like, "This is really dumb. These guys are just like hardcore entrepreneurs. That's all they are."
Yeah, the Ferengi, when they started TNG, the Ferengi were intended to be like the main villains of that series, and they just didn't work as villains. If that's me putting it nicely.
Yeah.
The very first episode they show up in, they're kind of embarrassing. I actually feel like the second... Now I'm going on a huge tangent about Star Trek. But the second episode the Ferengi show up in, I actually think they're a little more... I think the problem with the Ferengi in the first few episodes is they come off as really petty. Which it can work for like a one-time villain. Like in the second episode, the Ferengi, the villain guy, he's just trying to get revenge on Picard for killing his son. As as individual characters, like Ferengi villains, I think can work, but like as a galactic empire, they kind of don't really work as villains. Because it turns out just trying to make a buck isn't inherently like evil.
Yeah, a dollar. As I think about it now, a dollar doesn't have an emotion. A dollar doesn't have a drive. A dollar is just a tool that we've made so we can get by.
See, if I were to go back in time and I were to end up on working on TNG and Gene Roddenberry wouldn't shut down all my ideas and stuff, what I would have done to make the Ferengi villains is I would have made it so that they didn't actually seem to be villains at first, and they were a little more a
Catch-22 character.
Yeah, like where it seemed like they actually weren't villains. It seemed like they were nice. They have, they're offering all this technology and stuff, and there was something like sinister kind of hidden in the background. And after several seasons, you find out, oh wow, they've actually like their technology has infiltrated the Federation, and they're like slowly kind of taking over in a subtle way. Which is kind of what they were originally going to do with the Borg, funnily enough, and with the little parasites.
So in a lot like Star Wars with the Trade Federation and how actually they just ran the show and they're like, "Hey Naboo, suck it, like deal with my tax."
Well, funnily enough, the Trade Federation. I do think the Trade Federation are a better way to go about kind of like a mercantile villain, but even the Trade Federation's they're kind of portrayed as a bit goofy, kind of like the Ferengi.
Yeah. It's so the Ferengi. We'll just go and finish up the Ferengi here stuff. But the Ferengi make me laugh because I remember as a kid, my dad was like, "Oh, this is like the new villain," and I couldn't see it as a villain. I just kind of saw them. I'm like, first of all, who names themselves the Ferengi? I immediately think of like Spanish soup. I don't know why. and second of all, it's kind of like having that one friend named Brayden. Why did your mom name you Brayden? Like, he's the nicest guy ever. He has some drive, but he's there. Like, hey, what's up, man? I'm the Ferengi.
Yeah, they horribly botched the Ferengi, but they ended up becoming, after they decided, they're not going to be like our main villains, they became a lot funnier. And I love that one episode in TNG when they're trying to like sell a wormhole or whatever, and the Ferengi aren't invited, and they just show up, and the one Ferengi just keeps like, "Where's my damn chair?" He just keeps asking for a chair, like no one will bring him a chair. It's like, "Where's the chairs?"
entire subplot.
And then he's like, get your Klingon servant to bring me chairs. And Picard's like, he's not a servant, he's a member of my crew. Fine, bring me the damn chairs. I love that Ferengi guy. He's one of my favorite Ferengis, and he's only in 2 episodes, but anyway.
I never got to show. Sorry, I gotta ask this, but like, did they ever show like Worf and the Ferengi like working together? Because like, I always saw the Ferengi kind of like toads to Bowser, you know.
I know that
have to deal with each other.
I feel like I can't think of any off the top of my head. I feel like there's one episode where he and Quark are forced to work together, but I actually don't think there is. I don't think there's any episode with Worf and a Ferengi like forced to work together. Someone in the audience might know. There has to be one, but I actually don't think there is. There's an episode where he chops off a Ferengi's head.
Wow. Worf, he doesn't play around.
And then you find out their blood is green, apparently. I didn't know that. But yeah, Ferengi have green blood, I guess, like Vulcans. Anyway, yeah, we went off on a huge tangent.
That's okay. It's all right. These are like life experiences for me at the moment. It's like, these are questions I never knew I had to know.
Well, as long as the audience is happy, then I guess it's fine to go off on a tangent. But yeah, sorry for the Star Trek Ferengi tangent, guys. I don't even know how we went on that tangent. Something about the guns and the R-wing model here.
Well, let's move into Star Fox Horizon in your adventure stuff. So I'm just going to do a bit of a review, okay? So
sure.
Review brain on, ADHD mode go. So here we are. I'm watching the most recent stuff. I love what you've done with Scales. He's doing his thing. He's pissing off everybody. He's trying to reclaim this planet. And Fox is just like, bro, I know you're trying, but you're going against advanced spaceships. You have mystical brains, and you don't even know that like 1 + 1 equals. You're taking on Crystal, and she's flying still, and you can't seem to bring her down. Why are you doing this? I like this guy. I get it. He's trying. He's a villain. Maybe he's got some backstory. Maybe his dad didn't tell him he was good enough. I don't know. But I really enjoy that you brought Scales out and you didn't just be like, bam! Andros! Here we go!
Yeah, I had to have a fight with Scales. It's something everyone's been complaining about for, 20 years now? Although in the original N64 game, he didn't have a fight either. He just dies in a very embarrassing way. He friggin' falls down and I think his spine breaks. And it's kind of presented in a bit of a jokey way too. He just falls out of the sky, his spine breaks, and Crystal's just like, oh well. I'm like, wow, that's probably that might actually be more embarrassing than Adventures, actually, than the final game.
It's just like, you're correct. It's like his Advil walked off and his spine finally gave up, and out comes Andros to be like, hey, I'm out, let's go.
So yeah, it seems like even before the game turned into Starfox, he was doomed to kind of just get brushed aside from the very beginning.
Yep.
But man, poor Dracor he doesn't even have any lines in the final game. No one even knew he was supposed to be the main villain in the Starfox game.
He just never showed up. He's just like, I'm out.
So yeah, he shows up as a boss in Starfox Adventures, but he doesn't have any lines and there's no context. He's just kind of there. So I'd say that he actually got it worse than Scales in the final game because he doesn't even have any lines, and he was basically the main villain. But
question here for you there, just from the people.
Sorry, yeah, I have a hard time keeping up with the chat. Actually, that stream I did with Estelle where she was keeping up with the chat and I was working in the background, I think went really well. I really like how that stream went.
While we're rambling about Scales, ask us any questions. I'm going to keep an eye on the chat, and then I'll throw one in, and I'll do a save. But I really enjoy what you've done with this game so far. I've seen the most recent clip of like Fox going through the hordes of those green goblin things that make that hilarious 90s like bad guy sound, and you kill him and it just goes like that. Makes me laugh. Like,
that sound was in the original game too. For the little there's these little bug creatures that are they're called nurses, and based on the context from the original game, I think they're actually nursing the Chimerian dragon. But they had that sound effect, which they ended up using in Star Fox Adventures for a different creature. But yeah, I don't know, I like that little kind of like goblin laugh that they have.
Yeah, like I saw you like you were shooting your guns and one turns into green poof, and I'm like, jeez, that's overkill. It's like, wow, should have installed.
Yeah, if you don't overkill them, it's kind of hard to see because the lighting in that level. They'll actually fall out of the sky if you like shoot their wings just right.
Those poor little guys, like they don't realize like the technology they're going up against. They're just like Dungeons and Dragons just meant Starfox. What do you think's gonna win?
Starfox. Yes, now I think about it, Starfox, especially since Adventures, it pretty much runs on Dungeons and Dragons logic.
Yeah, 100%. And like in the Adventures game, Fox is like, "How come I'm not allowed to bring my blaster?" And I'm just like,
"Oh, I'm seeing some questions."
I don't see the problem with that.
Got some questions now. I guess I'll answer some of the questions. Lord of Creation is asking, hey, Ice Cream Man, quick question involving the Apparoids in Star Fox Event Horizon. Are you keeping some of the Apparoid units in their roster, like the Suppressor and Aggressor? Do you mean like an Apparoid that you can actually play as? If so, I'll probably have an Apparoid that you can play as, or some kind of Apparoid craft you can unlock if that's what you're asking. But or if you're just asking if I'm keeping those two Apparoids, yeah, I'm gonna keep those two Apparoids in the game. They might get a bit of a redesign though, because I'm not really happy with the designs I had for the Apparoids like 10 years ago. So hopefully that answers that question. And then Crystal Kingdom asks, in the final level, are we going to play as Crystal? Sort of, actually, but not really. That's probably the way I could answer it. I don't know if I want to spoil, but you kind of play as both Crystal and Fox at the same time. I don't know how to word it in a way that doesn't really kind of give away. I'll just say no, but kind of. I'll leave it at that.
If I pipe in a little bit about that, because that's a very good point, like a very good outlook. Like
I'm really looking forward to the last level. I'm gonna start working on it. I decided to take a break for a few days because I took a break this weekend. I'm still debating if I'm gonna start on it tomorrow, if I'm gonna wait a few more days. But the last level is gonna be so cool.
Well, you've been going ham on this, man. Like this project that you've been just every week has been something. I've always been.
Yeah, this month in particular, it's Star Fox month, so the timing's good. But yeah, this last month I got three different. Technically, I had Sector X done years ago, but all the final voice lines for it came in. So I had 2 Saria levels finished this month and Sector X. So yeah, 3 levels this month, and now we're showing this, and I did that stream with Estelle 2 weeks ago. So yeah, this has been a really good Star Fox April.
Let's talk about Sector X.
Sure.
Didn't see that. I think that was like this week, Monday. You launched that one.
I think it was last Saturday, or it was last Saturday or Friday. It was a little over a week ago.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not off then because it's a bit of a blur for me. What I do for a real job is this quick. Sector X. There you are. You're planning out this this entire cartography of how things show up. I'm so used to like flying through, of course, on the rails from the 64. You made it and redesigned it and made it honestly better.
Oh, thank you.
The design of that robot.
Oh, the Spyborg?
That's what it's called, the Spyborg?
Yeah, the Spyborg.
It's like the robot. That's all I ever knew as a kid, actually.
Maybe we should do a Spyborg this size.
No, I was like, we could.
Well, you can have the arms plug in, and I don't know if you can do articulation with the arms, but that'd be kind of cool.
I'm thinking of the ad, man. Imagine like a Buzz Lightyear ad from Toy Story.
Where is the
chopping action?
Yeah, karate chopping. Yeah.
That'd be really fun. That character, you gave it more life. Like it was asking for where the creator is. I mean, as a kid, I didn't really understand what that meant at the day.
That's a really weird reference that they put into that game. You do know that with where the creator is. Yeah. You know what that's referencing?
yeah, like Starfox 64 didn't really dive into that. That one line is like, "Where is the creator?" And
What's he
everyone talks
saying?
like,
That is that's a reference to the
mm-hmm.
first Star Trek movie.
Yeah,
That's
like
like that's such a like what kids saw that movie in the 90s
it's
like
it's it's like a complete Hail Mary pass. Like, I hope they understand what this means. And like
and
as an adult, I'm like, okay, he's referring to Andros, but as a kid, it's like, where's the context? Of course, my dad knows. He's like, ha.
but yeah, like that I couldn't believe like that they had a reference to Star Trek the motion picture in a kids game. That I don't know whoever slipped that in. That it's like of all the Star Trek movies to make a reference to, that kind of blows my mind that they reference the movie that no kids probably ever seen.
Not at that point, man. I mean, that was Star Trek was kind of out. That was like your dad's thing. uh, what I liked about that entire scene that you created, one, you have Farah get smacked away instead of Slippy. Great choice. Why? Slippy's great. I like him what you did with this guy. You made him a part of the team. He's not a nuisance. Yes, he gets chased around, but it's not common. Unlike 64, when it's like, all right, I got him off. Back by that. Ah, come on! Like, stay fine for 2 minutes. But in this term, Farah, this introduction of this character, I have seen her once in a while through your voice and your non-voice videos. I feel that this character could have been completely used in the 64 days, and I want to say thank you for bringing her in, because I didn't even know this character existed
Yeah,
until
Farah, like
the
the
show.
thing is, before I made this game, before I introduced her in the Lilac Wars and stuff, like Farah's a character I never really like had any like strong feelings towards. I never really like she was just kind of there, and then she's kind of become my favorite character, and I really regret getting rid of her now at the end of the Lilac Wars. Like, and
Oh,
it might
that
be partially because the voice actress for has done like Thea's done such a good job with the character, but Farah really kind of I really like Farah now. She's so cool in the Lilac Wars, and I'm regretting kind of getting rid of her, but
I'll tell you
I'm not
this.
changing that. I think.
Farah is a great way to give Fox growth. If there's one thing that I used to do back in my teen years, I used to read a ton of fanfics. And what I really desired was to get to know more about this Fox McCloud character, because the only thing I ever got out of him was from Adventures and Star Fox 64. That's all we had at the time. Assault hadn't even came out yet. And while I was watching from Cornelia to Sector X to the point where you say goodbye to Farah, you really orchestrated that well.
Thank you.
Farah and Fox, you could tell they have history. You can tell there is a shared bond in flying. As a guy who want to be a pilot myself, I get that. Like, when you're surrounded by like-minded people, you gravitate so naturally. Especially if it's like the opposite sex, then you can throw that flirty vibe in there. But in terms of Farah, I love her Australian accent. Or is it either Australian or
It's
Kiwi? Which one?
Australian.
It's
There's
Australian.
kind of
Okay.
a funny story behind that too. I'll wait till you're done though.
I love how quirky she is, how fun she is. Where she kind of like talks to Falco as a little brother. Like, Falco is the guy where he's just always there to show up, to be the first one in and the first one to shoot. I don't think he worries about getting to be the last one, and he hates water. When I love that dialogue. I love that dialogue in the Blue Marine. There, it's just this sucks. I get that. I'm actually afraid of ships myself,
Yeah,
but I
I'd be
love
like Falco in a submarine. I don't. I've been in a submarine before. I don't like going underwater. I don't like the.
it. Just feels
But
wrong.
I don't like flying either, so I'm very unlike Falco too. I'm a ground kind of guy. I don't like flying. I don't like going underwater. I'll go on boats out in the ocean, but I don't like going underwater. But I would be the tank guy. Even in my original version of Star Fox I'm making, it's all tank and ground vehicle. I like I don't know. I'm a ground kind of guy, I guess. Anyway, sorry I interrupted there.
First of all, bonjour, Neil Libya. But well, what I would like to say is, as Farah and this team, like, you got the original Star Fox team, you got Pep, Slippy, Fox, Falco. But then you got Farah. You got like this, excuse me if I'm wrong, but the fifth wheel. And it adds to the vibration of the entire team. Something that Kat at one point in 64 had given. Like, just that little moments between her and Falco.
Kat's showing up in the next level, by the way, and she's actually has the same voice
Whoa!
actress as Farah.
Let's go!
I have her lines. I might actually post a few samples of her lines on Twitter this week. Because I'm still waiting for lines from some other characters for Zonus, but I got Kat's lines in about a month ago for that level.
I love what you're doing with Kat as well. I only got glimpses of her. I haven't really seen much of her because my time frames and all that jazz. But when I did see her, I like what you're doing, man. She's
really basically a troll.
Yeah, it's really helping with the Falco Cat, where Falco's like, I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best, I have speed. And Kat's just like, here's a rock for you to trip over, bub. That's perfect. You got like a brother-sister kind of relationship, and that could bloom somewhere else. Farah, though. Here we are. I'm just going to continue with Farah.
Yeah, go back to Farah.
So here we are with Farah. Her interactions with the team are fantastic. I noticed that you put in different dialogue at the beginning of Ficina. So that they come in, guys kind of like talk about their...
Yeah, there's going to be more of that down the road, too. For at the moment, all the levels after that, there's just one set of dialogue, but I am going to go back and add kind of randomized conversations to the levels after that, too. It's just kind of a low priority at the moment. I did it for the Ficina level just as like a sample to like show how it would work. But there's going to be more of that in the later levels where there's like randomized dialogue depending on things that you've done and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. What I really like is when Farah talks to these characters, she does it with care. She has it with heart. Like, for instance, Slippy. We all know what happens to Slippy when we're in the Blue Marine. The guys are just totally broing out. Like, this thing's never going to hold together. And I love this one from the original 64, but when Pepe's like, stop thinking around, Slip! Like, that made me laugh as a kid because I was a swimmer back then. He was like, my dad's like, what did he say? Thinking around. God bless that voice actor. Thank you for throwing that in, Nintendo. That one...
Oh, he passed away a few years ago, sadly.
Yeah, I heard about that, and I was just like, oh no, the barrel roll guy is gone. But in the Blue Marine in the 64, you hear Pepe say, you're not such a screw-up after all. like, this poor guy, he created an entire submarine, destroyed this clam of doom, showed off that he could do this, and all the guys are just like, well, I got nothing good to say, so let's just let him have it.
It's very 90s.
Je suis Francois. Sorta. I don't speak too much French, but I'll try to interpret as much as I can there, Neo.
I do know a little bit of French, but yeah, je ne comprends pas. I don't know a ton of French. About 20 years ago, I've told this story on a stream before, but around the time Adventures came out, I actually was learning French, but I was kind of forced to learn French against my will, so I wasn't interested in it at all. And then when I met Estelle, I found out she's a fluent French speaker, and it's just funny. If I knew that 20 years ago, I probably would have been more invested in learning French.
I think Neil had it. He said, "C'est quoi?
Je suis François. My accent's probably just as bad as yours. My friend.
I totally butchered that. I was like,
my American accent in French.
Canadian. He's asking right now. He or she, sorry, is asking, will there be Farah and Miyu? So let's talk about
Faye and Miyu.
That could be a thing. Yeah, Miyu.
Miyu and Faye, yes, they're gonna be in the level right after the next one I'm making. They're relatively soon. They'll show up. And dude, Faye's also one of my favorite characters that I'm kind of really excited to finally have in the game.
Oh,
I think Faye's gonna bring I think a new dynamic that doesn't exist in the team yet. Miyu's a little harder for me to figure out because she's really
calm. She seems like calm.
I think she basically turned into Cat. Like if we're going back in time, I think when 64 came out, she kind of turned into Cat. So I suspect she's supposed to be like in the original Starfox too. She's supposed to be like the kind of really flirty type.
Really?
You even
That's
get
not
that
bad.
when you pick her as a character. She does the whole blowing kiss thing. There's kind of like a yeah. For some
Mm.
reason, a lot of people over the years they kind of portray her as like this kind of like macho like kind of like tough girl, but I kind of got the vibe in the original Starfox too that she was like supposed to be super feminine and really flirty. Um,
Interesting.
so I think
Yeah.
Cat is I think Miyu kind of turned into Cat when they made Star Fox 64, but I already have
Yeah.
Cat in the game, so figuring out Miyu has been a bit more of a challenge. But Faye's been in my mind for years now.
Well, Mario Kart Lover here says something really good. Actually, I believe Faye turned it to Bill in Star Fox 64.
I actually I agree. I think Faye kind of
I
turned into
agree.
Bill. I think
I agree
I'm not 100% certain, but I think that that's probably what happened.
that I completely agree to that because when it comes to Faye, the
So is
way
Faye
you're
supposed to be a surfer chick?
I would say Faye is the poster girl, and Miyu is the other page of that poster booklet. You know what I'm saying? Like the Star Fox team, if you want to have like an amazing calendar, we can get some going. Like ChatGPT is amazing right now.
I
Or
think
just banned.
I have a feeling the way a lot of Star Fox fans probably interpret Miyu and Faye is probably the dynamic of a Xena and Gabrielle from Xena. I have a feeling that's how people kind of interpret them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever seen that show or if anyone in the audience has, but I think I have kind of gone in a little bit of a different direction with Faye and Miyu. Because another thing that a lot of fans seem to interpret of the two, which I never did, is they always seem to treat Miyu and Faye as if they've known each other for a super long time. But there's no evidence of that in Star Fox 2. So in Event Horizon, Faye and Miyu have never met each other until that first level that they both show up in. So they have like no history with each other before they meet each other in Event Horizon.
And that's perfect because when it comes to building this thing up, I love what you've done with the Star Fox team. But if you're adding another character in, that backstory that you just created, or like that beginning point, is needed. I don't think Miyu was really used too much after Star Fox and Super Nintendo.
She
So
wasn't at all, and technically that game
yeah,
didn't come out until 2017. So yeah, she wasn't. Her and Faye
oh
weren't
Star
used
Fox
at
2,
all,
yeah, Star Fox
unless
2.
you
That's
count
correct.
Cat, which I'm pretty certain Cat is just a renamed Miyu.
When it came to Farah's death, I felt
Oh
that weight. I felt that weight. I watched that cutscene. I know it hasn't been voiced yet, and I'm actually going to tear up because once I hear the voices,
yeah.
I get that. Like Fox's quietness when he's taking out like the bad guys in the ship after the event of what happened to Farah. He's flying around. He's not saying a thing. His team is legitimately concerned. I get that. Like I personally get that, and seeing that makes me hate Shears even fucking more.
Yeah, like I said,
Like,
I regret getting rid of Farah. Actually, I think the moment it hit me is about 2 or 3 years ago. I think it was almost 3 years ago now. There was a patron who had his kids playing the game, and they were playing that level, and his kids got really upset and were crying at that level. I'm like, oh my god, what have I done?
I
What have I
I was
done?
wide-eyed. I was 12 at night, a grown-ass man, supposed to be sleeping for a 6 a.m. wake up, and here I'm watching this scene.
But see
And I
that
literally
kind of
said,
stuff I feel like is
"Oh my!"
missing from that kind of stuff I feel like is missing from just everything now. Like when you think about
From
like
Star Fox,
even like
yeah, yeah,
the old like Disney cartoons, there's always a moment like that.
yeah. It's like,
Or like just
oh no,
basically
but hey,
any animated movie from before the 90s, like there's that moment like Farrah's death, you know. The go-to one is Bambi's mother. Like that's the go-to one.
oh yes,
Bambi's mother getting fucking shot. Like that's a go-to one. But The Land Before Time. That's a great one. I think there's
oh,
always that moment, and that's just kind of missing from everything now. Like I can't think of any modern. Maybe in the it's kind of I was gonna say maybe in one of the new Spider-Man movies, there's kind of a moment like that. But there's the whole fucking multiverse thing. So does it really matter? Um,
like for
that
the record,
huh?
Land Before Time completely trumps the Bambi moment. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's
I
so
just the
much
Bambi
better.
one is like the go-to moment for like
like that realization of actual protection of death. Like, yeah, I see where you're coming from. But Land Before Nine,
Land
Land
Before
Before Time,
Nine.
right? It's 7-Eleven. Land Before Time perfected it, and
Yeah,
with
that's
Farah,
probably the best one
Farah,
I can think of. I'm trying to think if there's another one that's top. I'm trying to. If I go outside of animation, I could probably think of another one. But as far as like animated movies go, that's probably like the best examples. That the Land Before Time. I haven't seen that movie in almost 25 years, and I still remember that part like so vividly. And the rest of the movie is very fuzzy for me. But I remember the death of his mother, like 25 plus years later. Actually, it's probably been about 30 years. I haven't seen it since I was like 5 or 6. I've seen the other ones later, like more recently, but I probably should watch that movie again. It's been a while, but that kind of stuff is just missing from a lot of modern stuff, and I'm not 100% sure why. I think just sincerity in general is missing from a lot of modern stuff. It's like
we got
movies
theater.
are afraid to be sincere about anything, and I don't know. So I have to keep that scene in the game, and I regret it, but I don't regret it, if that makes any sense.
It makes a lot of sense because what you did is you actually created the tension and also the inclusion of having Crystal in the future. By the way, hello Thea, I'm Adam. I love your work, your voice work with Farah and Kat, like fantastic. Like
I'll pass that on to
hands
her because
down
I don't
awesome.
think she's in the audience right now. But yeah,
Oh no,
she's.
she just popped up.
Oh, she is? Thea,
Yeah,
are
she
you
just
in?
popped
Oh
up.
yeah, she is. Yeah, Thea's in the audience. Yes.
I was just like, oh my god, she's here. I don't
Yep.
know what to say. You are the Bambi's mother.
The Bambi's
We will
Littlefoot's
miss you.
mother of
We're gonna
Starfox.
miss you. Well, this is how I feel, man. I'm a grown ass man. I'm supposed to be going to bed, and all my wife hears me is, "Oh my god!" Like she's gone.
No, yeah, we were gushing over your voice work as Farah like 10 minutes ago. And then I told the audience I got your lines for Kat, and I was thinking of showing them on Twitter sometime in the next week, because it still might be a while before I get the rest of the voiceovers for Zonus. But I'm probably gonna leak the Kat stuff sometime in the next week. Yeah, no, Thea did such a great job with Farah. I don't know if you were here when I was talking about it, but before I like introduced Farah into the game, I never really cared about Farah, but now Farah's like, I don't want to say my favorite character, but let's just put it this way. If I felt the way I do about Farah now, I wouldn't have killed her. I would have had her in way more of the game. But I think it's partially because of I think it's partially because of the voice work you've done for Farah. You've made her a really, really likable character.
The atmosphere of that scene, I have to talk about.
Okay.
I personally like that entire like mission because you jam packed it full. Like it is the cream filled donut that is you just got surprised by. Like I didn't see it coming. I'm not gonna lie. But the atmosphere, they're in trouble. They're in stasis. They're disabled. The team can't move. Like everyone is at the mercy of this asshole. And the first person Shears aims at is the best pilot in the galaxy. He needs to ready. He wants to break Fox in the crew. Fox and the crew at this point have been a thorn to Shears' side for so long. And here is this one chance, and he aims at the one thing. Being a villain he is, the psychotic MF guy, I'm going to say that, I try not to swear too much. This guy hates Fox, but he's going to hit him where it hurts most. And he aims, probably because like he's able to hear like radio chatter or whatever, like that's war. So he aims at Farah and obliterates her.
Well, Farah also made fun of Shears in the previous few levels, so he might have had a bit of a personal vendetta against her a little bit, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I think what bothers Shears the most about Fox is supposed to be a mercenary, but he seems to. And I kind of played on this from the actual games. Like Fox seems to have loyalty to people he really shouldn't, and Shears is kind of like. I think Shears is envious of that to a degree because Shears has a very mercenary attitude. He wants to go where he He's pledged an oath to Corneria and Pepper, and he's part of this hierarchy. But I think he envies the mercenary life where he can just go where he feels is where
Where
his
he wants to.
where he wants to, where he's most useful or whatever. And he kind of envies, and he sees Fox. He's like, why the fuck are you? Why are you loyal to this General Pepper asshole? Like he's a buffoon. Like he's ended up indirectly orchestrating this war that's destroying Corneria. Like why are you? And it's the same thing with Soria. Is like, why the hell are you sticking up for these dumb dinosaurs? Like,
Yeah.
so I think that drives Shears insane. That kind of aspect about Fox is like, why do you have loyalty to these people and organizations that don't deserve it? And I think Shears both envies Fox's ability to, I guess, have
Just create a relationship.
faction mobility, but yeah, but he's kind of like, why don't you take advantage of the fact you're a mercenary? But I think he did have a bit of a personal vendetta against Farah because she made fun of him a few times.
Well, and Farah wasn't afraid to call that stuff out. Like Shears, he reminds me of a commanding officer who holds the rank, but he doesn't have the respect of his men. You know what I'm saying? Like he's supposed to be able to lead, but he can't. And Farah, she's a mercenary. She doesn't give a shit. She's like, hey, that sounds like a big problem with you. Fuck off. like just gives them the old Australian wave. And to me, Shears is a sociopath.
Probably, yeah, he's definitely a bit of a sociopath.
Sociopath.
He might even be a bit of a psychopath.
I would say psycho because he doesn't have the emotion. He doesn't have that connection. He just sees a thing. And he says, I don't like it. I gotta get it out of the way. And he gets rid of her in the most vicious way possible with a click of his finger. It's gone. It creates the atmosphere. It's quiet. The teams are asking, Fox, are you okay? He's silent. He's murdering things. Like, you're shooting down bad guys, but let's be honest. If that was Fox, if you were him, you're just gonna murder the shit out of anything that moves.
Yeah, one other thing I really wanted to do with that scene, and it's a bit of foreshadowing, is I really wanted to show actually how terrifying a Cornerian ship actually is. Because up until that point, you never fight like Cornerian ships at all. You're working with them against overwhelming odds. But that's the first scene when you really kind of get a sense of just how terrifying Cornerian ships actually can be. And it's a bit of I'm kind of spoiling some stuff. It's a bit of foreshadowing for the future.
I like. Sorry if I interjected into that spoiler shit, but I like where you're going with this. Star Fox 64 and the previous Star Fox games kind of lacked the firepower that these factions had. Even on Saria, the firepower just didn't feel like it was equal. You just heard, boo, boo. That's about it. Like you're flying through Sector Y. Was it Sector Y? Yeah, Sector Y on 64. You got all these ships along. Some of them have turrets and they're trying to shoot me down. But I never felt like there were Cornerian ships. It was just like ships with Andros with face. Like,
yeah, actually, I remember for a while. Yeah, I didn't realize there was even any Cornerian ships in Sector Y. I thought they were all Venom ships. I didn't realize some of them were actually Cornerian ships.
Yeah, this is like when you introduce the ships, and I hear the shooting, I hear the guns going off, I hear the explosions, I hear the enemy. They're trying. They're really trying. Like.
I guess I would argue that's one thing that the 3DS remake and Zero kind of communicate better is the Cornerian ships because they add the green coloration on them. In 64, all the ships are just gray, so you can't really pick out who's who.
Yes, I agree, 100%. Zero, I never got to play that game. I saw footage, but that's as far as I could go. At that point, Star Fox Assault was the end of my storyline because I didn't really want to play Command. I couldn't stand it.
You left at a good point, probably.
Yeah, I don't know what Command's about. Don't tell me. I refuse to look. I'm still stuck in 2005.
Oh, I see a question. I'll let you finish first. Let me just highlight this question so I don't lose it when it zooms up.
Sure.
Anyway,
grab a couple because I'll finish off what I'm saying here.
Okay.
I love the Farah talk. So to finish off Farah here, and again, kudos, amazing job to your voice acting, Thea. I think that one deserves a recommendation, like a letter of award. Awesome.
Well, Thea, I'm going to be
Farah,
hiring for all my original projects in the future. I've got a bunch of different roles in mind for her.
hoorah! That's good news. Farah's loss to the team makes adventures style that you're making here with Crystal even more deep. Crystal, we already know. We've seen them get to know each other, to meet each other, the banter per se, like, well, the sarcasm that Fox has to deal with, and of course the little fun quips that I can hear Farah in. Like, for instance, when they're on the back of the bike and he says something super technical, and he goes, "Oh God, I sound like Slippy," and he says, "Shoot the thing that goes," and
Yeah, that was
I
improv
get
on
that.
that part was improv on Kyle's part.
It works because, like, as a guy, like, okay, little background about me. I like flying. War Thunder was my game until my stick broke. Like, long story on that. The F-18 came out. That's what happened. I was flying with my comrades. I would have to dumb it down that much because I'm like, shoot the fucking red thing. Like, that's as far as I can get to my most complicated wording on a comp system. So when Fox says that, I felt Farah in that. I felt the connection. I felt, honestly, tenderness because he didn't get mad at Crystal. He kind of just said, "All right, this isn't Farah. This is Crystal. This isn't Slippy. This is Crystal. I'm going to take what I know and learned, and I'm going to honor that and talk to Crystal as she is." You
Yeah,
know how
Crystal
rare for a
doesn't.
character out there to do that is?
Crystal doesn't have any of the same frame of reference as Fox, which is kind of funny because in ways Crystal actually has more knowledge than Fox. It's just
Yeah.
a very different kind of knowledge. But yeah, I really like, I love the Saria levels. Although I've been working on them nonstop for like 2 years now, I'm so ready to move on from Saria. I'm done
You
with the
do.
dinosaurs. I want to go back into space, and I only have one level left, so
You're
I'm
doing
really
great.
happy. Yeah,
So,
about 4 to 5 months ago, I really started to feel the exhaustion of being stuck on Soria. I'm like, man, I really want to go other places, and thankfully there's just one level left. But I saw a few questions, and thankfully I highlighted with the mouse so I can just scroll back up.
take it away, buddy. I've already said all I
Actually,
can.
there's several questions. So I'll probably be going backwards though. So the first question is Esri Iran asks, did he use tracks from the Starship's creator soundtrack? Funny thing about that, the music that you're thinking of, it's actually stock, like royalty free trailer music from the 1980s. And
The
Star Trek
1980s.
Starship Creator used stock trailer music from the 19. Actually, I think it's from the early 90s. I don't remember the exact year, but because as I'm getting placeholder music, waiting for Adam and Ben to compose their tracks, I use royalty free stuff that I can find that sounds appropriate. And apparently, I pulled from the same stock database that Star Trek Starship Creator did. I know the track you're thinking of, but
It
that music,
works.
it wasn't composed for that Star Trek game. It was stock music that they bought and used in their game. That
It
Starship
works.
Creator game was made for like $5 and some bubble gum. It's man.
Who would have knew it would still be used today?
Yeah, and then another question from the Lord of Creation. Are you planning on including a Salvadora Dreadnought from Star Fox Zero? Yes, the Salvadoras will show up. They're technically from Star Fox 2, but if you mean the design from Zero, the design from Zero, I guess, is probably because the Salvadors in Star Fox 2 are just really abstract polygons. So I'll probably put my own little details on it though because I can't help myself. But the Salvadoras will show up. Not that far in the future, actually. And then I think there was a third question, but I think I lost it, sadly.
I got one from Crystal.
Oh, High Voltage is in the chat too. She voices a few characters, most notably Oda,
Hello.
the jackal that works with Starwolf. Which, for the record, I actually think I found a way to include Oda some more in the future. So
Oh yeah, Oda. Yeah. She was like this.
I have
That's Leo.
I don't want to spoil it, but I might spoil it. But Starwolf doesn't have like a Rob kind of their own version of Rob. So I think Oda's gonna actually kind of turn into their version of Rob.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Well, I put it this way: Oda's gonna, because in the Lilac Wars, Oda gets shot down. It's kind of implied that she might be dead. Funnily enough, in the same level that Farah's kind of killed off, or kind of is killed off. I think I'm gonna turn Oda into a cyborg. That's kind of like the computer of Wolf's mothership. So, high voltage. You might get some more Oda lines in the future.
Ice Cream, you just gave me an idea for 3D printing.
What?
You need a 3D print Rob.
Rob's voice actor will like that. I already know. I think he wants the Great Fox. So, Toastamaki. I think he's still in the audience. He was earlier.
Droids. I've done one.
Yeah, I've seen your giant battle droid that you printed out. That was insane.
That was just.
We gotta get you to print out a life-size version of Norin. That'd be awesome. I could have like a Norin statue over in the corner of the room. Can actually make a studio here. There was a third question though. I can't seem to find it though. So if I missed your questions, guys, just ask them again. Oh wait,
I got one here. Crystal, Wyman guy, how do we request a 3D printing?
That was it. That was the question I was looking for.
That's a good question. In terms of like personal stuff, like your own personal STL, or do you want something from my store or from the Ice Cream Man's future prospect of the model kits? And these guys, I'll need to know more specifics on that one. I got lots of actions. If you guys have any questions on 3D printing, by the way, feel free to email me. Wow, this is my job coming out.
Yeah, just post you can post your email or contact info in the chat if you want.
Yeah, sure.
If it'll let you.
I'll see what I can do here. I'll just make sure it's ready to go. I kind of wonder if my business partner's watching right now.
But yeah,
Jerry, you there?
if things go well, we'll do way more than ship miniatures. They're obviously the next place to go would be the characters, and there's like 5 versions of each character for the different eras. So there's a lot that can be done. You could do all the different crystals. You could do little Farah miniatures. Could do a no, I'm just kidding. I was dark. I was gonna be like, I could do a little coffin for Farah. I'm sorry, guys. If I could go back in time, I probably wouldn't have killed Farah. It's funnily though.
No worries, no worries.
At the start of the project, Farah was never actually going to be in the Lilac Wars. She originally was going to be towards the very end of the game, but there was always the idea that she gets killed off from the very start. But when I brought her over to the Lilac Wars, everything kind of just finally clicked. That actually was a huge kind of logistics problem I was trying to figure out for years, is how exactly Farah would fit properly. And then one day when I realized, she probably fit in the Lilac Wars, everything just like clicked, and then everything with Shears clicked, and everything just kind of aligned, and I haven't really had any problems since then with getting everything to work.
Guy Zen Aku asks, will Andros return in the Adventures arc? I want to ask that, but I don't want to spoil it.
Not exactly. I'll just say no. No, I went with the original plan for Dinosaur Planet, which was Dracor's the villain, not Andros. Because I really liked all that stuff in the Dinosaur Planet ROM. I thought it was way better than the final game.
And I'll concur with you on that. I always felt that Andros was a shoehorn character.
He was.
Like, hello, like the Lilac system. Like
I do wonder if that was. I could probably find out from Estelle, but I do wonder if that was a request from Nintendo themselves, or if Rare decided to do that, because they should have just stuck with Dracor. Like, they had all of his lines and everything, and he was fine. They should have just had Dracor be the villain like they originally planned. I really don't know why they swapped him out with Andros at the last minute. And oddly enough, they probably gave themselves more work, like swapping him out with Andros.
Well, big time, man. Like, you could tell the Andros model.
It's
such, like, it doesn't have fluidity. It doesn't have character. It's just
it's kind of jerky the way it moves,
and then it moves to the front, gets shot.
That's probably more. that's probably less to do with the model and more to do with the actual the programming of the actual controls of the R-Wing and stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm not 100% certain. But either way, that the whole Andros thing does feel really really tacked on, and that's because it was like.
Did you ever read the comics, by any chance?
I've read the ones with Farah and then Beloved, Goodbye, or Farewell. Is it Farewell, Beloved Falco? The one with Shears. I've read those ones.
Yeah, I remember that's the one. Yeah, I've read the one with Shears where he's taking Andros and kind of like regrowing him,
Yeah.
and then and then Andros sees Fox, and then he has like this complete meltdown, and he starts to like has a brain formulate an actual face. I like that. That was cool. If the My request is, if you ever do bring back Andros, do that. If you can, just please do that, because that scene was epic.
We'll see. No, I like that comic, but I really love the old '90s comics with Farah. Like I hadn't read them in years, and I reread them again about a year ago, and they're a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Although I still to this day I still find the whole thing with Fox and his mother kind of weird. It's like, Farah, you look just like my mother, and the funny thing, she looks nothing like Fox's mother at all.
Big Australian like fox ears. I'm like,
yeah, he like holds up the photo of his mother, and it's like she looks nothing like his mother, and he's like, man, my father would have loved it. I'm like, this is a little awkward. I'm wondering if there's some weird translation issues from Japanese going on here. That part is kind of weird to me, kind of funny, but I don't know. I like that comic a lot, or I guess it's more than one comic, but
it might have been a throwaway line because in the '90s it was a different time.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Sonic the Hedgehog was definitely a lot different from what he is now. The Fox comics, like, I can only imagine what they were trying to do with this comic. They're like, okay, we got this game. Super Mario Brothers bombed. Like the movie, how are we going to work with this? Like, there's no contact. It's just, boom, we're at war. Okay, it's just like Star Wars. Everyone seems to be winning here. Except the bad guys. They always suck.
Oh, I think I see some more questions. Yeah, sorry guys, I wasn't paying attention. I'm so bad about paying attention to the chat. I don't know, man.
I think they're really involved with this. Like, this is a very active chat, man. Like, you have a very great community right now.
So someone's asking, just 34, interesting name, is asking if there's a possibility of I might make it so there's a really difficult way to stop Farah from dying, but as far as the canon of Event Horizon, she's dead.
But would that intercept with the relationship that Crystal and Fox are making?
Well, it would just be like an extra kind. I don't. You know that one game, that one Star Wars games. Since you're so into Star Wars, the Revenge of the Sith game, how it's possible to make it so that you actually kill Obi-Wan.
Yes.
Something like that, where it's just like a little bonus thing where you could maybe save Farah. I'll think about that.
I got my day one copy, man.
Yeah, I remember getting that game like right before the movie came out. I didn't beat it before the movie came out though. I'll wait for him to get back.
All right, let's go back to 2005. There I was, 2005. Episode 5 was coming out, and this thing called a Clone Trooper was around. This is what they look like. This is a very flimsy helmet. It's very thin, scary. I remember that game. I remember playing as Ben facing himself, and I'm like, this is intense.
No, yeah, I got
this hard.
I got the Revenge of the Sith game, I think like a day or two before the movie came out, but I didn't beat it, so I didn't have too much spoiled for me, even though there's a lot of differences between that game and the movie. But yeah, I really liked how you could unlock all the characters, and basically there's like this multiplayer fighting game in it. That was really cool. I played the shit out of that with friends back in the day. It was
one, like, this type of Battlefront, it was one of the best sword fighting games I've played.
Battlefront probably was so many parties in like from 2004 to like 2006. Mm-hmm. Every party was out I went to. Oh, it was Star Wars Battlefront for like 2 years there. That's all everyone played was the first Battlefront, and then when the second one came out,
just that's
Like
all we ever
Smash
played.
Bros. And Halo was out for those 2.5 years. It was all Battlefront.
I think like Halo 2 when that came out, kind of going down memory lane here. Halo 2, Star Fox Assault, Mario Kart. That's what I remember out of those days. And of course Star
Strangely, a
Wars.
lot of the parties I went to, no one played Mario. I remember one. I distinctly remember one party I went to where we were playing Mario Kart. But almost every party I went to growing up, I was either Halo or Smash Bros.
Yeah, Smash Bros. Hands
Smash
down.
Bros. That was those were the two party games. It was some version of Halo or some version of Smash Brothers, and then for like 2.5 years, it was Star Wars Battlefront and nothing else. And then Guitar Hero when that came out, Guitar Hero, specifically
Oh,
Guitar Hero 3. So like
did you ever
2008,
have
2009, around there, that kind of made its way into all the parties. It was those three games.
did you ever look at the wall after like playing your guitar and it's like moving?
Yeah.
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 I remember stumbling around after that. Just
Yeah, it's
coming
kind of
off
weird. Like,
Dragon's
yeah,
Force.
the Guitar Hero games and Rock Band, they kind of came out of nowhere and then just as quickly vanished. They just came and went.
Yeah, but they made millions. Like I was working at Walmart at that time. I couldn't stop selling these rock band kits, like drums, electric guitars, the whole freaking shindig. And I just remember like I was working at a volunteering at a youth group at one point, and I just remember seeing this kid playing Dragon Force. He's like, he's an inhibitor. And then I was like, he looks at a wall, falls over, like gone.
I still remember the first song I ever got a perfect on. It was Knights of Sidonia and Guitar Hero 3. I don't know how I still remember that. that Muse song. Was it Knights of Sidonia? I don't remember how to pronounce it. That's the first one I got a perfect on.
I think what made that game in those days was the quirkiness. You'd be playing around, just going crazy. Then of course you make a mistake, and it'll be like, like it's just like
it was a really good idea for a party game. I'm still trying to wonder like, because like no one plays it anymore. It like went away. It's one of those things where it just came out of nowhere, and then like 3 years later, it's just gone forever. It's like people got so into the Guitar Hero games, and then they just they didn't like them anymore. It was I guess it was a fad.
It was the in and out fad. By the 2010, you didn't even know it existed anymore.
Yeah, around 2010. That's about the time that it went away, and then everyone went back to Halo because that's Halo 4. I think came out a year after. Was Halo 4 2011 or 2012?
Halo 4 was 2012. Halo 3 was 2007.
Yeah, Halo 4 is like the last kind of party game because after that I stopped really going to parties. I wasn't. I became a boomer and everyone kind of moved on. So Halo 4 really was like the last party game for me.
When it comes to Star Fox Assault, I have to touch into this because going back to our Star Fox talks here, the R-Wings, the model kits and such, will the audience see Star Fox Assault style vehicles? We already got the R-Wing up.
Yeah.
Are we going to see the tanks?
Yes.
We going to see Apparoids?
Yes.
That's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I've already shown some of the Apparoids and the Assault Cornerian ships and some older videos, but I decided to stick with going in order because when I started the game, I was kind of just doing things from all the different eras as I felt like it. And then a few years ago, I decided, I'm just going to do it all in chronological order. I'll start with the Lylat Wars and then Soria, so we'll get to the Assault era eventually.
I'm hoping to see, and I think I've seen this in your Discord, in your chats with Estelle and such, is the in-between. After adventures, you have Crystal out of her element. She's in space for the first time, realizing there's no air. As she was found out going after that.
She found that out at Soria. I mean,
I fucking feel hypoxia. Like, I got a kick out of that as a pilot. I'm just like, she'd probably figure that out real quick. But seeing that would really set up and even explore this character Crystal way more. Like you're taking her out of her elements of prehistoric living to there's actually a galaxy out there filled with this adventure, this technology, this thrill of flight. A big time thrill of flight. You could feel it in her. As soon as she gets on the back of that bike with Fox, she's just like, holy shit, this is cool. You can just see it.
That'd probably be the reaction of someone like that.
100%.
Because now, in the modern world, we're so used to like cars and mechanical vehicles and stuff that there's the kind of the wonder of them is kind of gone. But for someone who's never seen a car, like it's almost inverted for us. Like a modern person, we almost see like animals like horses and stuff as like these mystical things that are kind of strange, but before vehicles it was the other way around. Like horses and animals and all that were really mundane, and cars were like this. When cars came out in the scene, they're just like, what are these weird like monstrosity machine things? So for Crystal, someone who's only experienced with machines is the sharp claws, using them to destroy stuff, and now she's like, wait, these machines actually like. They can be used as like transportation. Like someone in that position, they'd probably be like, "Whoa, this is really cool."
Question: will we get new vehicles of Assault and the Blue Marine? I honestly would love to create a series of just like these big model kits, but like a series of like you have the 64 Landmaster, R-Wing, and then the Blue Marine. I would love to make that for you guys.
There is a Mark II Blue Marine, yes. I've shown the design, but I actually didn't make the design. The Shadows of Lilac people made the design, but there's a Mark II Blue Marine.
If Crystal is here and the regent of Soria, then how do you explain she ends up with the space mercenaries?
Let me find that. Who's asking that question?
That's Crystal Kingdom. Is that a reference to Command? I think no.
Crystal calls herself Regent of Soria, but her father Randorn is also the Regent of Soria, and
sorry.
There's gonna be a little cinematic at the end of. I don't know when I'll get around to making all of the cinematics, but he basically gives Crystal permission to leave the planet at the end, and then he pulls Fox aside and he's like, if anything happens to my daughter, I'm gonna kill you. He has one of those moments with Fox.
I do like this. I wanted to bring this up. The relationship with Crystal and her father. That wasn't ever brought up in Starfox Adventures before.
No, they got rid of him in Adventures. He was a big thing in the original game.
Wow. I like this. This is what I feel that the juice of Crystal's background, let alone her entire resolve of how she sees the world that she's in, was missing. I like what you're doing. I'm married to, for instance, I'm married to a pastor's daughter. Okay, horrifying experience when we first started saying hello. I get that. Her dad was like, "This is my daughter. You gotta treat her with respect. You have like certain obligations, but if you hurt her, nothing's gonna stop me." and
Randorn means it. Actually, his voice actor's in the. He was in the chat. I don't know if he is now. Lupe, if you're in the audience, say hi. Randorn might actually still be in the audience. His voice actor.
I love how his name literally like goes with his character design. Lupe, Lupus. Let's go.
He's still in the audience. His YouTube name is Toon Tone. He's got a few different names.
I like that.
He's asking a question. Actually, yes. There's still, in fact, I'll ask it in the voice actor Discord. When I release the next version in the summer, I want to do the intro cinematic, but I need to make sure all the characters and their voice actors can do the lines before the end of May, so I can get that done in June. The cinematics, I'm doing some of them here and there, but I'm probably not going to do most of them until I finished all the levels, because the cinematics, they take... It's hard to explain, but they take quite a bit of energy out of me.
Well, you have to like rig the characters and like have the different camera angles and push forward to combine all these scenes.
It's one of those things where the cinematics, they technically don't take as long to make as an individual level, but because the animating, it requires a lot more of my focus to do, that they kind of drain me a little bit faster, because I have to really like focus on doing the actual animations and stuff, especially now that I lip sync. Because I know I should get some tool that auto lip syncs and whatever, but I manually lip sync to all of the lines, and that can take a while, and staring at the lips and rewinding it has an effect on my brain. So doing the cinematics actually kind of drains me quite a bit, and that happened to me when I was doing all the cinematics for my Zelda game too. The cinematics just fucking drained me compared to making the actual levels. But yes, there's going to be quite a few more cinematics. I am going to do, because there is a little tiny cinematic in the last level that I am going to do that doesn't have any lip syncing, so I'm doing that one. It's a no voice, no line cinematic, so I am doing that one with the next level, but it's relatively short too. It's only like 2 minutes long, I think.
I do like this question here. The saxophone play, is it going to show up?
It has to.
We all know this, Steve.
It has to. I don't think it's going to show up during the Soria levels, but I think I have to. And I've talked about it with Estelle. We might actually be able to get David, because David Wise actually plays the saxophone. We might even try and get him to just do the. We might get him to do that.
Can we just have it as a ringtone?
As a ringtone.
Just picks it up. And, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, nice little pause and play.
I think it's going to show up at some point. I don't think it's going to show up during the Soria levels though, because the scene that it does show up at the end of Adventures actually, when Crystal shows up on the Great Fox, but
randomly, yeah. Like, I can fly now. Like,
I to answer that question, I think it has to show up. It just probably won't show up during the Soria levels or any of the Soria cinematics. It's probably going to show up a little bit later, when I actually think it might fit a little bit better.
Let's see. Does anybody else have any other questions? I'm running out of questions here.
I thought I saw quite a few, but as usual, it keeps the chat keeps scrolling down, so I keep missing them by the time I answer previous ones. I see someone asking about 34 again. If you can make Star Wars Battlefront as the basis for a Starfox mod. So kind of related to that. Again, this is down the road, but for the multiplayer in Event Horizon, it is kind of inspired by Battlefront, where you pick the type of craft, like either is Corneria or Venom, and then you're fighting, there's all the different capital ships, and you have like two armies fighting each other, and then when you gain kind of like in Battlefront 2, when you gain a certain amount of points, you can pick one of the hero characters. If you're Corneria, you can pick one of the Starfox team, or if you're Venom, you can pick one of the Starwolf characters. That's kind of in the cards. I have a rough prototype of that from like 10 years ago floating around in the files of the game, but obviously it needs to be updated. So there might be something kind of like Battlefront in the multiplayer of Starfox in the future.
Peppy and Randor, voice actors, father figures, VA. I agree. Let's talk about Peppy for a little bit.
Okay. Who's all voiced by the same guy.
You spiced this guy.
Toontown, you seem to have a good knack for voicing fatherhood characters.
I'll say this as a pilot, or a wannabe pilot. Long story on that. I get where Peppy's coming from. I like his little quirks, and I love his beer talk. He is the beer dad I want to have around. Especially
I can drink you under the table any day, boy.
Yeah, this is like, I'll drink you anytime. It's like, like Falco tries to do a little bit of a hip shot comment, like, "Ha, I got you, old man," and then Peppy owns it. He goes, "Oh, it wasn't."
Actually,
it was so good.
Toontown, correct me if I'm wrong, but you improv that line, I think. There was a line that kind of hinted at that, and then I'm pretty sure he came up with that, just on the spot, the drinking Falco under the table. I'm pretty sure that was improv.
It was good. You can sense the dad in this guy. He's kind of helped raise Fox, because James has passed away, of course.
He's got his own daughter too. He's got Lucy. Yeah.
I only know that because I read some of this stuff.
He even mentions that in the Lilac Wars.
Oh,
my daughter went on vacation, thankfully, right before the war broke out.
How convenient! She's like, what are dads doing right now? James is crying.
I'm looking forward to Lucy showing up later. I still don't have a voice actress for Lucy yet, though, so if anyone's interested, You know what? I bet you Thea could probably pull off Lucy. I bet you she could. Maybe I'll ask her.
Southern accent in Texas. I can see that.
Yeah, Lucy's still not showing up for quite a while though, so I haven't really focused on getting her a voice actor yet. But
What I like, sorry.
no, go on. I don't even remember what I was about to say actually.
So what I like about the dynamic between Wolf and Fox, going off of topic from Horizons, but actually going into another YouTube channel, the one with a Fox in Space.
The Fox in Space. He does voices for this, by the way.
He does.
He voices Andros.
Well, I am a fan. I'm a fan of both of you. I saw Fox in Space. Fox in Space. I think like 4 years ago, and I was like, "This is the animation I would dream to try drawing." But fucking well done, man. I liked the dynamic between Fox and Wolf, especially like when Wolf is trying to figure out like, does Fox actually have legs? Like,
I am gonna actually address the leg thing relatively soon. In the intro cinematic that I want to do, I'm going to finally address the leg thing, and I think I have a funny answer to that. But anyway, sorry to interrupt. Go on.
It's okay. It adds to it because like, I remember in the 90s, like my friends were talking about, it was like, Fox doesn't have legs. He's a robot. And I'm just like, what? That doesn't look like legs. It looks like really long boots. And then, of course, they confirmed that in Starfox 64. Now, I have a question about the gameplay, especially with the Assault era. Will we have characters running around outside of their ships or off a ship like Fox and Assault? That one's on you, man.
I don't think we'll have anyone running around.
In and out.
I don't think we'll have any characters running around outside of the cockpit. There's two reasons for that. One is a practical one. I really don't think the engine can handle it in a way that looks convincing. It's technically possible, but it would look really janky. So probably not for that reason alone, but also too, and this one might be a little more controversial, I absolutely despise running around in Assault out of a cockpit. It's really weird because it's one of those things as a kid I always wanted to do. Like maybe that's kind of why I liked Adventure so much, but I always wanted a Starfox game where you could, run around in the levels. And then when Assault came out, I despised those levels so much. I ended up, it was one of those things where like, this sounded really cool on paper and now I don't like it now that I'm actually doing it. But to be fair, I think that's just because, that's not because the idea is bad. I think it's because it just was done very poorly in Assault. The controls are like really wonky and it looks janky and the animations are all bad and the way Fox jumps is all weird. It was very unpolished. Yeah.
Full leg bursts.
It felt really unpolished in Assault, and that's because the game was rushed out the door. But
you can tell they had fun with it though.
The
multiplayer in Star Fox Assault was really fun. As a teenager at that time, we were starting to get more in Halo and such. But Star Fox Assault was like my first 3D shooter where you actually had to use two sticks on the proper. If you put the proper settings in, you can use both sticks. The C stick for the strafing, and of course the other stick to move back and forth.
I always stuck in a vehicle when I did multiplayer, so
yeah, a lot of my friends did.
I'd always beeline for an R-wing or a tank, but Toon Tone says he has a VA for. Are you saying you know someone, or are you saying you could do the voiceover for Lucy? Because I can believe you if you're going to try to voice Lucy, but clarify, Mr. Toon Tone.
Please tell me you got Carmen Diaz. Please. She would kill Lucy. Just do it.
I guess we'll find out in a few moments.
What I like about Assault was in the multiplayer aspect, when you're playing as Peppy and you start shooting people and all that jazz, he gets knocked down in his ship and he starts crashing and he hit the ground. Anybody here get a hell of a laugh when he just goes, "Dang damn it!"
Dang damn it!
Down to the ground? Yeah. I personally got a kick out of that.
When I did play that game, I would always play as Peppy because he could jump so high. But
yeah, seriously.
But like
Falcon would float.
But like I think Assault permanently. What's the phrase? I was gonna say permanently scarred me, but I think it's a little extreme. But it kind of put me off to the idea of running around with a gun as the Starfox team. So those are the two reasons why I don't think there'll be any levels where you're running around with a gun. One is a practical and one is personal. And I probably could just stick with the practical one. Like I really don't think this engine can handle it. If I was using Unreal, maybe, but
Now,
and
you're
there's
using the
already
older
just
engine, right?
there's so much stuff with the vehicles already that yeah.
It's
So
made
I'm
for
gonna say no to running. Obviously, never say never, but I'm gonna say no to running around on foot. So
I personally would like to see a remake of Assault, let's say in your image, using Unreal Engine 5 or Frostbite, whatever you want to use. Just get up there. Let's just dream big.
one a modern
But,
engine.
but yeah, like we're giving you like the Cobra of the vehicles that you can have access to. And what I would like to see, on a personal note, you know how in Star Wars Lego, like the newest Star Wars Lego, where they got all of the genre together. You know how you can just go to that planet, do your mission, and then come back into space, you just doing your thing. I would love to see that epicness in a Star Fox game where you can go to your main objectives. You can go to the places you gotta go. You can dock with the Great Flocks. You do that battle space guy or other mercenaries or outposts because this is obviously after the Light Outpost. But I would like to have that open air, like open space. Like you are traveling. You don't have to just be in a linear way to go, and that would actually help with a lot of like the outside walk around ability, the interactions with say a landmaster. You get to walk up to it. Imagine that in VR, by the way. But that's another funny trail. But like that would be pretty damn cool. Like
I don't know if
you're
Nintendo
playing.
has that ambition.
Nintendo has always taken Star Fox as a genre to test something, but I really felt like they just kind of says we don't really know what to do with this anymore. After Zero, I just heard that there's just kind of like let's just put this one to the rest. We just don't know what to do. Um,
I have a
I
feeling
kind of want that.
I have a feeling they'll dig it up again just, to maintain rights to it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I can't say too much, but I have some behind the scenes info. I know two people that were working for a company in 2023 that were in talks with Nintendo to do. I won't say the company, but they're and it's not happening now. At least with that company, there was a company working out a deal with Nintendo to make a Star Fox game in 2023, and it ended up falling through. So they're still trying to do something with Star Fox. I don't know what. And apparently they were fishing around for a third party to do it 2 years ago. So,
Hmm. I know that
um,
when Zero came out, a lot of people were pretty unpleased with the whole gimbaled lasers. as
I,
fun, yeah, as funnily mentioned in Fox's
yep,
case, you just hear him turn
my
it off, and
man.
you're like, "Yeah, my man." And I'm like, I get that. Sometimes you just don't need that feature because it's shit.
Zero. The main problem with Zero, it is the really bizarre control scheme. But I do think there's a more ephemeral problem with Zero in that no one literally asked for Star Fox 64 again with just a few more like people they want a game that actually feels like a direct sequel to Star Fox 64, not literally Star Fox 64 again. And
Yeah,
I think Nintendo took the we want more Star Fox 64 way too fucking literally. I think we just got
and they
demonetized because I cursed, but
well, they probably went full ham into it. I would say you got to remember too. We're also in the times of Star Wars, like the aftermath of 789. We're in the aftermath of like really grounded groups of fandoms. Like they have the style they like, and they will fight tooth and nail for
yeah,
it. I feel that Nintendo might be actually kind of backing off because they're like, okay, we have this style of group. We know that these guys have experienced throughout their childhood, now adults, a certain storyline, a certain gameplay. It's like if anything, Nintendo was always about the experience and the family first. The worst thing they want to do is take the family out of the picture and place the fandom into it first, only to piss off the fandom. Like with Star Wars, it's really hard to get around because you change one little thing, it could be a detail, a battle droid scratching his ass, anything. The fans notice, and they just do this. Like my name, for instance, that Y-wing guy. I've been asked, "Can I buy your name?" And I'm like, "No, that's mine." But because it's so like once you make something original, it's hard to get past it. With Star Fox Adventures, when they decided to mix Star Fox and Dinosaur Planet together, I thought it was a really cool move as a kid. But as an adult now, what you've created, this is the refinement that was needed for that story. And as a fan base, I find that Star Fox fan bases are actually fluid. Like, I don't know about you, but I've never seen anybody come out and say Star Fox sucks because it doesn't remind me of the old days.
I think it's
I've seen
because there's just I think it's partially because there's just not they don't make Star Fox stuff very often.
that's
I think
yeah.
people are just hungry for for Star Fox stuff in general. They don't really care exactly what form it takes. I mean, it's hard to tell because obviously we experience everything anecdotally. But I remember back in the day when Adventures came out, it seems like everyone really liked it. It got really good reviews. It sold very well. All the people in my personal
Yeah,
life, they all seem to like it. The
I
few
I
places I was
I
online
have
at the
one.
time, people seem to like it. But here we are 20 years later, and it seems like there's quite a lot of people that actually despise that game, and they think it completely derailed and no pun intended, derailed the derailed the series. And I'm like, okay, so which one? Like
Do you want
that
me to
didn't seem to
talk
be
about
what
that?
was actually the case back in the day. So like, which one of these is the reality?
Mm-hmm.
And
And
it's
there's a
it's
quasi problem with that.
huh?
It's like a quasi problem. Like let's go with the Mario Brothers. Mario has had one objective: get to the princess, save the princess, kick the lizard's ass. Everyone gets cake. Let's go with Zelda. They took that story at first: save the princess, get your shit together, go kill Ganon, you save the princess. Then we go to Star Fox. Get in your ship
No
to the rail.
princess.
No princess,
Full
you
on
save the cake.
sausage fest. I don't think there's no female
Yeah,
characters in the first Star Fox game, is there?
no, it was
Not that
just
I can
the main
remember.
horde.
It's just the
It's just the
team
main.
and
Yep.
Andros and
Kill the big floating head.
yeah.
So like they had some backstory, but that's about it. But here's what we have today. We have those stories already told many times. You can only tell a story so many times before you're like, okay, how do I reinvent the same damn wheel? Star Fox Adventures was finally the push through, the after, the ability to let's try something new. And yeah, I had friends who said Star Fox Adventures just Zelda but with Fox. I'm like, well, you're not wrong, but it's new. They took the Zelda, they implanted into the idea with this game called Dinosaur Planet, and they said, hey, let's try to get this story going along. I mean, Miyamoto did a good job. I I'm not gonna lie, that guy when he built Star Fox 64 to really hash out what this storyline could be, I really felt he wanted to continue it somehow. And yeah, I mean, we had Andros shoehorned in there, and a lot of stuff moved around from the Dinosaur Planet stuff.
I mean, I have some behind the
Yeah,
scenes stories about
yeah.
Miyamoto and adventures.
When it
Um,
got to go ahead.
no, I mean, I don't know Miyamoto personally, but I have some behind the scenes stories about him and adventures, and then I have a friend in Japan who's actually taken some school courses with them because apparently Miyamoto teaches classes in Japan. I didn't know
That's
this,
cool.
but
But
I have a
so you
friend,
listen
and
to
people in the
Japanese
audience might
original.
know who I'm talking about, but I have someone who's taken classes with classes under Miyamoto in Japan, and that guy despises story in video games. He apparently he hates the idea of stories in video games.
Really, man. Oh, I
Apparently,
mean, I can see where he's coming from because he wants it to be about the experience, the
yeah.
gameplay, and can I come back to this? Maybe in his time because he's like the early developer kind of guy. I'm talking about like my dad. He's an electronic engineer. You talk to him about anything about like electronic engineers, he'll tell you about all the things he used to do with Amigas and all that jazz, original machine coding, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? But you talk about this new stuff, and he rolls his eyes and goes, you kids got it all easy today. Like, it just doesn't really vibe with him. For
Yeah.
Miyamoto, when they built the Mario Brothers, it was a simple game: get to the castle, beat the lizard, get the princess. And they reinvented the wheel. Didn't really create a storyline. They just made more levels to it.
Yeah, in
But it's the
fact,
same.
there's actually related to the subject. There's a really famous quote from Koizumi, who's a guy. He worked on quite a few well, he works on mostly Mario games now, but he worked on Majora's Mask, and he's been quoted saying he literally had to sneak the entire plot of Majora's Mask into the game under Miyamoto's nose.
Ooh.
So yeah, Miyamoto doesn't seem to see the value of he doesn't seem to see the value that a plot can actually add to, like the context that a plot could add to a game and how it could actually enhance it. And that's his thing, I guess.
Well, he's a game designer. Like, you could see his background. You could see the work. You could see, like, from one little rail car to another of how he structured the game to be. To him, creating a story to it creates chaos. That's just more work. I don't blame him. I do not blame him as an artist.
I think the answer to that is to hand the story off to someone else. I mean, Majora's Mask turned out really, really damn good.
Oh, dude, Majora's Mask was insane. The whole time thing and such, like, holy crap.
Yeah, Ocarina of Time turned out like
turned
really
out
well.
pretty,
Like there's example, and those were games where someone else handled that aspect of those games other than Miyamoto. To me, that's the solution. But I don't know who am I to kind of take a stab at Miyamoto. I mean, like as you pointed out, the guy's he's done what he's done. I don't think I'll ever have the same level of impact he has.
Miyamoto, to me, reminds me of kind of like Henry Ford. You can have any color as long as it's black. It does the vehicle, it runs, use it. It's made to go. Miyamoto was the creator of this world. The next generation planting all the storylines is the enhancement of the world. The next future of the world. People love Zelda because it's not just the new storyline, it's not just the new Zeldas that are coming through. You have the combination of a brilliant game designer and a brilliant narrative, and they somehow just mesh together, and you have this wonderful world. Starfox Adventures, you had the game design and the narrative, and in a brand that didn't know where to go, and Miyamoto was like, throw it in there, see what happens. I liked it. I did like it.
Hey, if Adventures didn't happen, we wouldn't be here right now. So
I mean, that's right. I mean, we'd still be talking about 64. Assault felt like the anime of the day. I'm just gonna be honest.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think actually, yeah, you mentioned that in the Discord like 2 months ago. Like, you finally gave me words for because I've had trouble describing my problem with Assault. Yeah, it feels like anime of the day. Like the way the characters talk and it feels very anime-ish.
It did. It's just it felt not as fluid. It didn't feel as it was a Naruto time. Like this was when Naruto and Yuki were at its height. He had like big fancy faces, and it's just like I don't know where they're going with that.
People have disagreed with me and the comparison I'm about to make, and the comparison I'm about to make is a bit extreme, but I do compare Assault with Sonic 06 with the way it feels. There's like this kind of there's an awkwardness to how everyone talks in that game that it's hard to articulate. There's like I don't know what it is. Like, part of me wants to say maybe it's because everyone recorded their lines separately with no context, but that was the case for 64, and it doesn't come off as awkward at all. There's like this kind of strange awkwardness to how everyone talks in Assault that it gives me Sonic 06 vibes. Sonic 06 is a bit more extreme, though, as far as what I'm trying to articulate.
That was an imperfect game sent at a very imperfect time. And I think the only thing that really held that game up for me was just the music. I loved the music. It was hands down slap. Let's go. Everything else was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this. When it came to Star Fox Assault, I'm glad we're talking about this because I personally struggle with this because they really tried to create a good narrative, which was decent. Like the narrative was great. The voice actors did what they could. I feel that it was kind of like a case by case basis of the storyline prophetic. So you have like Crystal gets uh, a reception from Saria. She's got to go back to and help Prince Tricky. It's like, okay, cool. But when you get back to Saria, it's definitely just like this small little map. And you're like I was definitely like trying to get outside the map and like, okay, where's everything that I just adventured around? Like, where's the caves? Where's the falls? Where's Shrek? Like,
I mean, the fact of the matter is, Assault was originally supposed to be an arcade game, and the game it was rushed out. It was unfinished. It literally is an unfinished
really?
game. Yeah.
I did not know that. I thought it was finished.
So I and there's a hypothetical timeline where they got an extra year to work on the game, and it probably turned out better, but the irony is I actually like Assault more than Adventures in retrospect, so I actually like the game more now than I did. I think I've told the story on stream. When Assault came out, I got it, and I was so disappointed by it, I returned it the next day and exchanged it for the first Lego Star Wars.
I still have my Assault copy. I still have my Adventures copy, and I used to have my Star Fox 64 game, but I lost that. It was at my dad's house at one point. But when I look at the games themselves, they were developed by two different entities as well. Like we had Namco
Yeah.
for Star Fox Assault, so that was Namco is like, isn't that like a Japanese company? That's right, correct? So
Yeah, Namco. Yeah,
if it
Namco. Yeah.
that explains a lot with the anime narrative. Like, if you place the game into a Japanese wording, like Japanese voicing, everything fits because at that time, anime was really peaking. I'm like, we were just figuring this out.
Yeah,
But
it's
in
it's
Japan, that was like already there.
it really with the voice stuff. It really probably is a localization problem because an amazing example of this, at least for me, is if we go into the Final Fantasy series, you can see what I'm talking about with Final Fantasy 12 and 13.
Mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy 13 has the problem I'm talking about where everyone talks like in a really strange, awkward. I hesitate to use this word to describe it, but I almost want to say it sounds autistic. Same thing with Assault and Sonic 06. Sonic 06, there's kind of like this autistic quality to how everyone talks in those games. And Final Fantasy 13 is like that. And there's a reason for that with the Final Fantasy games. And 12 doesn't have this problem at all. And the thing is, when they localized Final Fantasy 12, they're like, look, there's so many things in Japanese that just do not translate into English at all. A great example is those weird little sound effects that people will make when they're talking. It just doesn't work in English. When they go like, it just doesn't work. It doesn't. I'm sorry, guys, it doesn't. In 12, they got rid of all of that, and they're like, no, we're really gonna make the dialogue and everything actually sound sensible in English. And when there's a whole interview with the team that did Final Fantasy 12, it was just two guys, I think, and Final Fantasy 12 doesn't have that problem at all. It's like one of the only Final Fantasy games I even like. It's just really great in English. But Final Fantasy 13, when they localized it, it was very, very direct from Japanese, and everyone talks like so awkward. It just doesn't work. And it goes the other way too. English doesn't translate directly well into Japanese either. It really that's probably what happened with Assault is they probably did a very, very one-to-one direct translation from Japanese. Whereas Adventures, it originally was in English, actually. Adventures was done in English to begin with because it was made by Rare.
But it was made in their own language.
Yeah, so I have a feeling that's probably going on with Assault with the localization. Is they probably did a very, very direct one-to-one localization. That's my guess. It's probably the same thing with Sonic 06 also.
Sonic the Hedgehog, like, this is also, when we just on that, I know a lot about Sonic the Hedgehog. when it came to that game, that was one of the first games where they really tried to implement like human characters with, with these characters from the Sega
They
universe,
tried to
and
do it in Starfox.
yeah, it didn't work. It's just like they just took two rocks and they slapped them together. So okay, what happened? Did it work? No. Okay, we need to refine this. Definitely got a lot better. I mean, now we have movies. I mean, hands down, Jim Carrey, awesome acting, beautiful. But those early days really formulated and helped shape what we have today. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Let's go with that. Everyone talks about it. I've played the game. I've watched the cutscenes. Yeah, that they nailed it. They figured they branched the Japanese culture of stoicism, of traditionalism, of how to respect each other through their language, the bows and all that jazz, to Americanized stuff. And they really fluidized everything. They like married the couple together, and
For which
that is
game?
my Final Fantasy VII, the remake.
Oh, 7. I haven't played the remake yet.
It is so good. And I have to admit, that must have been really hard to do to lead up to the point where we're at, because you have two different cultures, man. Like I remember the days when the Big N was kind of like knocking streamers out because they didn't want the content to be shown, but they kind of retracted because they were just trying to figure out this audience that, well, was getting pissed off, but they just like, well, we don't get it. That's okay. That's like they adapted over time. What insert crystal kiss scene. What I like
Well, that
about
might happen sooner than you think.
that's probably gonna happen. What I like about your games, just going back to our main focus, going back to our desires to help you with like my company to help you with your dream of
Yeah, we went off on such a huge tangent. I don't think we've talked about these for over an hour now.
I'm sorry. Like, it's good. It's good talking to you guys in your community. It's great to talk about like the old days, especially what we have today. Like we have your game. We have Crystal. We have this character, like her dad. I can relate to that because like I'm married to a pastor's daughter. Like as a guy who sees this story play out, it resonates. And I really enjoy what you're doing with this ice cream, man. So as a company on my end, I'm really happy to provide this little something for your community, for the fandom, for the fun, for the remembrance, and to actually hold a damn model of an R-Wing in your hand.
Hey, I'm super thankful that you approached me and you're willing to do this. These are, if I would be so happy to have these if I was a kid. I mean, I'm happy to have them now, but man, if I was like 5 years old and I saw these at a Toys R Us, I would have lost. Maybe a little older than 5 because I didn't know about Star Fox when I was 5. But you know what I'm saying? I would have lost my mind seeing these at a store.
Big time. When the little amiibos came out for Fox and Samus and all that jazz, I'm like, okay, cool. They came out with the Star Fox crew and Starlink, I think it was called.
Yeah, Starlink is the one where they mix the humans in.
That was okay.
I mean, I've considered putting humans in Event Horizon. But you know, I asked people on my Discord, and no one seems to want it. So I'm really hesitant to put humans in it, and they probably won't. But I was considering putting humans in Event Horizon.
It looks like Kyle's got a family emergency, so take care.
Oh my goodness!
And we are thinking of you and your family right now.
I hope everything's okay, Kyle.
Yeah, man. It's definitely one of the things about a community that I love about having just in a community or my own. I love it that we look out for each other. So, heck yeah, man. Like, think about Kyle and his family right now, guys. Down to earth. I'm excited for this. C3D printing. When I told my buddy, my co-pilot on this entire business that we do about what we're doing, he's pretty stoked. When we started working on this R-Wing here, it was made by a German guy. Like this thing has a cockpit, it has like removable windscreen and everything. We started saying, man, this is beautiful, but we could do better. And when we saw what you did, I says, remember that idea with Starfox? Let's give this guy that chance. Let's give this community this chance. He's put 10 years into this. Why wouldn't we? You know, it's like we've got our own thing, but this is good. Like, to be honest, this is good practice for us because we want to be a large company someday. Having you as number one right now, this is where we get to really amplify that experience. So we're excited to be a part of this challenge. We're excited to be a part of this experience. We're excited to supply people in your community and outside with models that they can enjoy and to bring back some of that childhood. But holding
And
this R Wing Mark II, this is my favorite particular R Wing because it's got ailerons, it's got it's got the X-wing nose, but
the upside down X-wing nose.
yeah, it's got everything as an aircraft maintenance engineer apprentice, pre-COVID, by the way. But holding this in my hand, I want to make sure you guys can have that too. And for the minis, tier 3 guys, support this project. Let's get to the finish line. Let's get those voice actings in. And if the big N comes by and says, shut it down, we did it with grace. It's finished.
Yeah, we'll just rebrand it with, change the names
Something
and characters
else.
and stuff. The backup plan's been there for a while, but thankfully it seems like, it's been 3 years now almost since Estelle got involved, and we're still cruising along, so...
All right, Ezri's like, I miss the inverted nose, so this is what it looks like. Like, turn it this way, you can see it's an X-wing nose. Like,
it was a little Easter egg one, because when I was I'll go ahead, I told you the story, but I'll tell the audience. When I was modeling the Adventures R-Wing, I was looking at reference material from it, and I'm like, Rare really was... They clearly were they were looking at the X-Wing when they were designing it, because if you look at in the back of the screen, if you look at the other versions of the R-Wings, like the one from 64 and Assault, the nose is very triangular, it's very pointy, like there's nothing about the older and the newer versions of the R-Wings that really are like the X-Wing at all. But if you look at the one from Adventures, it's very obviously based on the X-Wing, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna put the X-Wing nose on here and flip it upside down. And that's also why I added the red stripe coloration onto it.
That was so. Will I be doing that?
Huh?
Sorry, did you ask if I was doing that?
No, I did. If you look on the actual model in the game, I put they're kind of faded out, like it was painted a long time ago, and they haven't bothered putting more paint on it. But there's red stripes along the side of the nose of the R-Wing, and that's because another little cheeky X-Wing reference.
Yeah, it was like it was along your fuselage here. Yeah. What I liked about this particular model is this ship is used. Like, it shows in your artwork that you have. Like, you have like stripped paint. You have ailerons that look like they probably need some maintenance. I mean, like mine fell off.
I'll make the image bigger in the background. I'll just zoom in on the Mark II retrofit.
What I really like, my favorite detail. Sorry if I'm using a knife here, but
no worries.
The detail of the engines. It has wiring. It's a thruster. It looks so good. I can't get over how nice this looks. And I owe it to you, man. This was all done by you. Like, you did, like, if this was a symphony, you nailed it, man. that
one I have a lower poly version that's in game, and then the one I gave you is the higher poly one. I had to go really detailed because it's actually going to show up up close in quite a few cinematics compared to some of the other R-Wings. So I really had to add a lot of detail into that design, because the camera is going to be up close to that R-Wing quite a more than the other ones, at least at the moment, based on the things I put down. So yeah, I added all the wiring to the guns and everything.
The wiring looks great.
And the interior of the cockpit is completely modeled too. I did not send the cockpit to the STL. It's gonna show up like I said, the last level I'm working on right now, there's gonna be a brief cinematic, and you are gonna see the inside of the cockpit in that cinematic. So
that would be really cool to put into this model, by the way. Like, to have.
I could send it. I could send it to you if you want the actual cockpit.
If we could somehow make the screen. I'm trying to remember the name of it right now. With the canopy. If we could somehow make the canopy thicker, and then that way when I print it, it's not like this razor thin thing. That's my issue I had with this. Is like this was so thin that we almost didn't have it happen. But if we could somehow make that happen with this. It's already got like structural components, which is perfect. But on the inside, if you have the cockpit, your community is going to lose their mind in this. That level of detail is
I'll send
only
you the
like
cockpit then.
Bandai level stuff, man.
You're gonna have to
I
remind
do
me
want to
throughout the
know
week. There's so much going on this week. I'm gonna need reminders.
tune voices. I'll be more than glad to make you a great fox. Like so, based on that, I'll mention here. I've already talked to Ice Cream Man about this. So if you're a voice actor, like a confirmed one,
Yeah, I
and
did
you want
mention
to
it in
get
the
in the
stream
game,
earlier too, but go ahead again for
Mhm.
any voice actors that came in later.
So the voice actors, I want to say thank you for doing a fantastic job. Everyone that's put in. The bad guys getting blown up to that screaming goblin guy that's hilarious to shoot at. Sorry, that one gets me a lot. It's my favorite. To Crystal Esteli, hands down, you're doing amazing. Like you're taking this story and you are giving it life. Farah, I'll always miss you. You are our Bambi mother, but I
Our
can't wait
Bambi.
to see what Kat does and the Mayu character. Like and Lucy, like come on, let's go. Dude, Peppy Hair, let's talk about him. I love your work, man. You bring out the dad. Like this is the dad vibe. He's able to smack back at the teenager who thinks he's got him in the wing. It's Slippy. I don't know who voices Slippy. Well, holy
That's
shit,
Michael
you nailed it,
Francis.
man.
I haven't seen him in the chat today, although he's made it to a few of these streams. But yeah,
You
he's done a
nailed
fantastic
it.
job. I know some people aren't, they miss the more annoying voice of Slippy from 64, but
Not me.
yeah,
No way.
I
I would have nightmares of that creepy little guy talking to me.
I don't mind Slippy's voice in 64. And I think I've said this on stream before. The thing is, I don't know if because Slippy has so many lines. I actually think Slippy has more lines than any other character in this game because he's the technobabble character.
Yeah.
Slippy has, I think, more lines than any character. I don't think I could handle hearing Slippy's annoying voice from 64 or the other games that much for that long. And keep in mind, I'm working on these games. I'm playing these levels over and over again. I don't think I could handle hearing Slippy's troll voice like for years working on this game. So I very consciously was like, I'm going to change Slippy's voice a bit, and he's going to be more nerdy and less like trollish annoying like he was in 64. Well, funnily enough, he's voiced by a woman in 64.
Really?
Yeah, the same voice actress that plays
that makes
Kat and
sense. I remember this conversation.
Spyborg, and I think another character in 64.
This is the first stream, but let's see. I'll check on the Starfox Zero Mech R-Wing. That's pretty cool. It's like a little ATSD slash bird slash chicken slash.
That reminds me. I saw a question a long time ago. I don't even know if they're still in the chat. They asked it 2 or 3 times. I forgot to answer. It was someone asking how I got the walkers to work in the engine, and a lot of that stuff is actually because of he's not. I don't think he's in the audience now, but there's a programmer that actually helped me with that, who goes by the name of Astaroth. On the Hardlight Discord. He made all of the tanks and everything possible. He's kind of the unsung hero of Event Horizon.
Oh, that's cool.
But I've seen quite a few. Huh?
Are we going to see model kits of those mechs that they have?
Yes. Yeah, there's the Landmaster, the Star Walker. Let's see if I think this is going to do really well, but let's just see if this actually brings in a bunch of people and it does well, and then we'll do way more than just these 9 R-Wings if it all goes well. But I've seen quite a few people in the chat mention it, and someone's even asking if there'll be ships from Sigma. That's the original thing I'm making after Starfox Event Horizon. I haven't talked to you in tons of detail about that yet because it's kind of far in the future, but yeah, there's gonna be miniature stuff for that game, and I'll talk with you about it first. You might get the exclusive rights to make the Squadron Sigma merchandise down the road.
That's a challenge. That C3D is ready to rock, man. Michael Slippy is my new favorite Slippy. It's absolutely perfect. I agree.
Oh, he'll love to hear that.
The voice that you have for Slippy right now, it's deep enough where it's not annoying. It's technical enough that he has a friendship with Fox. Like I think they're bros, man. You can just feel it. It's not like a Fox Falco thing where it's like, I dare you. Oh, okay. Suck one. Like Slippy and Fox are literally sorry, that's just like my oil field thing coming at me. Seriously, we don't like that. Slippy and Fox are genuinely characteristic, and like they bond. They're just they will hug each other. They'll be like, "Yeah, man, I got your back."
Yeah,
Happens with the
I liken I mean, Adam will get the other Adam, not you. One of the many other Adams I work with, but I kind of I don't know if you're familiar with Red Letter Media, but I compare Fox and Slippy to Mike Stokloska and Rich Evans, and I compare Slippy to like Rich Evans.
yeah. I Slippy is like the glue. If
Yeah,
I look at him and the team, he's like the glue that you know the guy. As much as the guys pick on him, without him, they know they'll be lost. Like this guy analyzes the ship structures. He talks about the data links. He talks about like, for instance, like the AI and
yeah.
stuff.
He designs and
The
builds all the. He's basically M from James
yeah,
Bond. Like,
he reminds me of my brother, and my brother has a doctorate and in solid matter theory and astrophysics. So
oh
like,
man.
yeah, I'm the guy who wanted to be the pilot, but he's the guy who did it all. But like when I see Slippy, I see my brother in it. That's just like that's
Nice.
my brother. Like this is the guy I would turn to. I'm like, all right, I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. Where do I shoot? Like that's that's what I see, and I love that he has interactions with Farah. Like Farah treats him with extreme kindness,
Yeah.
like a sisterly kindness. Like, come on, Slippy, you got this. I like you. Or when they're in the Blue Marine, she's completely like opposite from the guys like picking on him. Just like, oh, have her hold together. You're doing a great job, Slip. Fuck those guys.
It probably helps that Farah just isn't scared of anything.
Dude.
She's like, I'm in a
Australians,
submarine that might. Yeah, the timing of the submarine level was really ironic, but she's like, I'm in a submarine that could explode at any minute. Whatever.
I'll say this: and Australians and Kiwis, Brits, when they come to Canada, they're a lively bunch. But the Australians are my favorite because you just don't know what to do with these guys. They show up and they're like, we're polite here in Canada, but we vibe. So we're sitting there. I'm on a boat, and I just see this guy, and he's just waving at me. I'm like, oh, whatever. I roll over. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? He goes, oh, I got this fucking thing's here locked in. Can you get me that, brother? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll get your line out. So I pull it out. And he's like, next thing you know, he's like, oh, thanks for getting that out there. Here's like 6 cans of beer. Just don't drink. Those guys are watching. They're cops. Like, I'm like, holy shit, I love this guy.
Must be
And
all
then,
that fauna in Australia and New Zealand.
and then you got like the Brits in the distance who are like, how unprofessional. And then he got the Kiwis who's like, that's my beer.
The Great Emu War, it took its toll on Australia. They were never the same after the Great Emu War.
Yeah, that's right. It's like I get these 3 freaking worlds, and they're all fun to be around with as a Canadian. Like, just you're like the little brother to these original characters.
Yeah,
But
I really like the job Michael Francis has done with Slippy. I can finally listen to Slippy for longer than 10 minutes without, having to turn the game off. And yeah, that was intentional with Slippy. So I hope people come to like. I already see some people saying they really like Michael's version of Slippy, but I hope people come to like that version. I didn't think it would be too much of a problem because Slippy really is pretty different in the 3 games that he's been voiced in. Well, I guess he's been in 4 games now and Starlink too, but
Starlink wasn't bad.
his voice in 64 and Adventures in Assault, those 3 games, they're pretty different. In 64, he sounds kind of like an annoying young
Oh my gosh.
It's really hard to articulate, like to really describe what he's like. And Starfox and Adventures, it's just Chris Seavor. It's an annoying troll, with his trollish laughter. I actually feel like Assault probably is the best version, but in Assault he doesn't come off as like stupid at all in Assault. He just comes off as like a kind of. It's hard to really describe what he's like in Assault also. I think Adventures is the easiest to describe.
The old days. Slippy and Assault. That was probably the one storyline I actually paid attention to because I wanted to know more about it. He had his dad, Ballatino. He had this background in R&R. He's not really flying around as much as he used to, but he's got like this great technical data, and he actually had more to give in dialogue. You know what I'm saying? Like he talked a lot more, speaking of dialogue and the mission briefings, holy shit, did you ever smack that out of the park, man? That is exactly what it's like when I'm in a group of pilots and we're supposed to be talking about our freaking 5-minute adventure to Drumheller, and 5 hours later we're talking about donuts. That's exactly how it is. I was just like, I love listening. I'm like working on my truck outside. I'm listening to the dialogue, the gameplay, whatever, just kind of thinking about it. And I'm sitting there on that mission briefing. I'm like, I feel like I'm there again. This is great. This is the shit that you give the military.
I have to give quite a bit of credit to Jero for that, because he specifically actually redid a bit of the dialogue in those mission briefings.
Good work.
So Jero deserves quite a bit of credit for the mission briefings in particular, because the mission briefings were completely different, and then he was going through them and he's like, maybe all of these characters should talk in this point. Whoop! Sorry, I'm gonna break the freaking Great Fox today. Let me put it in the background there.
Yes.
There we go.
That is
put
fantastic.
it on display for now. I'll clean that up later, and I'll find a good spot to put it back there,
I'm gonna send out a small request.
Sure.
Just one little detail. There's
Sure.
one game called Ratchet and Clank.
I'm aware of Ratchet and Clank.
So when you pause the game, the character goes, just 1 sec. Let's say they're mid conversation. All of a sudden, you press the pause button. Hold that thought, just 1 sec. If we can have that in this game, that would be amazing, because that really, I don't know why, but it really enveloped me into the world. Like, I had to change things in the game. It's like playing this character, but when he said just 1 sec, I'm like, whoa. That's like that's fucking reality. Like, I've had to do that to clients on my on my end when I got like 6 calls going on once. Like, just 1 sec, just hold that thought, just so I can get the storyline going. But in a game, that little detail makes me happy. I don't know why. It's good.
I'll see if I can do something like that. Off the top of my head, though, the way the engine plays the sound, or specifically the voices, I'm not sure how I'd go about doing that. Also, making it so the game can actually detect who is actually talking at that moment, that might be a bit easier, actually. I think I know a relatively easy way that the engine could actually figure out who exactly is talking when the game is paused, but
that would be cool.
Actually playing the sound, I'd probably need a bit of help getting that to work. Also, I know this is a pet peeve of mine, but I try not to break the fourth wall, too.
Fair enough. The fourth wall is supposed to be us watching in, not them watching us.
Yeah. I try not to break that fourth wall. Sometimes if something's funny enough, I'll kind of ride that line, but I'm actually a person who tries to avoid breaking the fourth wall and keeping a setting as self-contained as possible. But that's just a pet peeve of mine.
It's all good.
You can probably tell I'm not the biggest fan of Deadpool.
Leon Dreyer says, honestly, big pause menus, small recognitions of game mechanics are the perfect frosting on the cake. Yeah, I totally agree. It's just stuff like that.
Or maybe I could do something more simple, like when you pause it, Rob says something, like mission replay paused or something like that. I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
Or if you really want to get fancy, when you pause the game, it zooms into the cockpit, like you're looking outside of this little cockpit here, and the moment stopped, things just slowed down, and you're flicking through your menus, just do your thing, and then you flick it off, and then it brings you back out into the third person. Sorry, I'm just thinking here, but that would be kind of cool. You're in the cockpit, you're playing with your gizmos. It's got cool things. An altimeter, baby.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. There's so many different things that I want to implement for this game that I don't know. At first, I'm going to try and finish all the levels first, because there's still quite a few. Yeah. But hey, Asaria's almost done, at least.
That's right. So what is... how excited are you This is going to be my final question because I'm running
All
out of
right.
time here.
Yeah,
But
I actually have to go run errands in about 20 minutes. So, yeah, it's a good place to wrap up.
okay, sure. To the fan base, to myself, to my business partner, how excited are you personally when you are finished the Starfox project? How are you excited about your next adventure?
Oh, I want to work. In fact, I'm probably going to work on it when I get home tonight, but I want to work on my original thing so badly.
Hmm. I can see the
Um,
passion. Like I've seen
and
you talk about
anyone
it
in
many
the
times.
audience, I'll go ahead and post a link to it, I guess. But I made a little cinematic, I think it's like 8 minutes long, about a year ago, of the original project I'm going to be doing after Star Fox. I've looked at the view counts of the videos. Barely anyone's seen it compared to my Star Fox stuff. Go look at it. Estelle voices the main character in it. Mr. Tone voices one of the other characters in it. Let me go look it up and post the link to it.
Two tone,
Um,
your voice is pretty hard to say. I'm just kidding.
I keep
Two
wanting to
tone.
say Tone, but I think it's Tone. And then he has a different name on Discord, or at least he did. I think he changed it to Tone on Discord also. But
I like the Bugs
it's
Bunny
not
voice.
just him though. Everyone on Discord except for Estelle. I mean, not everyone, but a lot of people, they have multiple different names on Discord, like compared to their emails, and then in different Discords they'll have different names, and it just I swear the internet's giving me ADHD. Um,
Estelle.
Wait, she's in the audience?
That's the Estelle Elias. Is that her?
Yep, that's Estelle. Oh, she showed up right at the end.
Oh God.
Yeah, perfect timing because I was just talking about Norin. There's a link to the video. I've seen the view counts. Barely anyone's seen it compared to the Star Fox stuff. Everyone go watch it. But yeah, I'm
Hammer it
really,
out, guys.
really excited to work on that more than Star Fox. But obviously, I gotta get the Star Fox stuff done. But Estelle, I'm working on a Norin thing today. I'll show it to you later. But yeah, let me shrink the background thing. Shrink
When it
this.
comes to your work, I'm going to talk to your community for a second.
Sure.
Hey guys, the community you guys have here is really special. It's really fun. It's great to be a part of it. It's great to actually hash out like these old games, storylines, seeing the actors. This is a really big privilege. What we see here, honestly, is a history in the making. A lot of fan games out there don't get recognition, so I want you guys to recognize this man right now, Mr. Ice Cream Man, to bringing this all together. I have
Oh shucks.
on the business level stuff. I know what it's like to be in the zone where you're trying and you're just not getting anywhere. And the tires are just spinning, but the smoke is being created. But when the momentum goes, you guys are the engine. And without you, this guy right here, his dreams will stay as dreams. And here we are in reality past that point. So I want to say thank you for bringing this guy to my vision, to my little business, because now we get to do something for you guys. Ice Cream Man has created this whole gyron. I am more than happy and proud to be assisting with this as a C3D owner. And on top of that, this is gonna be fun.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, if
That's
it
right,
wasn't
man.
for the fans, like none of this would have happened. Especially like the patrons, like keeping everything afloat. Like I've been able to work on this pretty much full time for almost 3 years now. Whereas before that, I was working, at a warehouse, and it's been awesome. And yeah, in that time since. I mean, I owe a lot to Estelle too. She's also a big part of this, and she's in the. I've thanked her a billion times though. I won't do it for a billion and first time, but ever since I met Estelle and we got the Patreon going and all of this has been going, look at how much has been done in just like the last 2.5 years. We finished all of the Lilat Wars. Soria is gonna be done in like a month. So I've finished like so much of the game in just the last 2.5 years ever since all of this took off. So yeah, it's been awesome. And yeah, if it wasn't for the fans, I'd probably still just be dinking around on this kind of quietly, and not many people would know about it, and I probably wouldn't even be done with the Lilat Wars yet.
As a personal fan, Ice Cream Man, thank you for bringing this stuff.
Well, thank you for
I,
bringing this stuff here. This is awesome.
Hey, I'm just adding to the puzzle, and
Like I said,
more than
kid
excited.
me would be bouncing
Just
up and
losing
down
it.
if I had these when I was a
Yeah.
kid.
Hashtag keep going. I agree, Stelly, and I agree. When you supplied the first Cloud Runner over to us to get set up and so we could figure out our scaling, when I finally got it in my hand, the kid me exploded in joy. Like
Yeah, man.
I was
If
imagining
I had this,
this was me in like my shop, just playing around with a little model. My wife comes in, she goes, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Just cool things."
yeah,
Like,
if this existed in 2006 when Command came out, I would have been so happy to get this. The Crystal's Cloud Runner R-Wing. I really do like this design. It's kind of strange the way the wings go forward and out like that, but it's cool
it
because
reminds me
it
of a
looks like a Cloud Runner, just a machine.
yeah. It feels like the Cloud Runner off of the storyline of Adventures. Sorry, I'm like stumbling here. It feels like an R wing, and it's got the heavy punch of a Vulcan. Sorry,
Yeah,
not Vulcan. Bird of Prey. That's what I'm trying to say.
right. I mean, not to sound nerdy, but the Vulcan ships are they are packing quite a punch. But
Yeah.
we'll not go on a Star Trek tangent again.
No, if we go that, it'll be another 20 minutes.
Oh,
Their children reveal
34
their
is
secret.
34 is asking, with Sigma, are you going to mod a game or make it into a game of its own? It's being made in Unreal 5. In fact, I'm working with a programmer who I still haven't revealed yet. I don't think he's in the audience today, but I'll drag him on here when we have more to show. But I am working with a relatively experienced programmer on Squadron Sigma in Unreal Engine 5, and you know what? Maybe I could show some. No, I'll keep it. I'll keep the videos. I'll keep the footage under wraps right now. But he's got the cars working and driving around. Right now, we're trying to get a tank working, and it's being made in Unreal 5. It's gonna be. It's in an engine. It's its own game. It's not a mod. I will own it, and I can sell it for money, and it's gonna be my original thing. It's highly inspired by Starfox, but it's not just inspired by Starfox. It's got influence from everything, and it's been something I've been slowly just working on bit by bit for, God, what, 25 years now? Codeman will know if he's in the audience. Since like 2002, basically since Adventures came out.
Man, it's pretty cool seeing that timeline though, from where you were to here now.
Yeah, like they're in the other room, but yeah, back in 2002, it was just like little comic pages for that. And then yeah, seeing the design of Norrin change over those 20 years when she used to just look like Crystal but slightly different colors, and now she's like an actual realized like alien now, which is really cool.
What I'm excited to see is the plushies that you got coming out.
Oh yeah. Well,
But let's talk about that before we wrap up.
all right. Well,
Add our 10 minutes in.
I don't know the exact date. I'm not sure if Estella's decided, but the plushie should be launching sometime in the next week, and then her and I will do a stream like a day or two after it launches.
Rock on.
Makeshift's been a little bit slow, but yeah, we're gonna the new she's shown images of it on Twitter, so I guess I'm not really spoiling it. But yeah, the new plushie is coming out really soon, just in time for summer finally. Because it's kind of a summer themed plushie too, and I'm really excited to go back to the beach.
I didn't know you guys had done plushies until you and I talked about it.
Oh yeah, we did one last year. I think it was last August.
Yeah, I saw the ad for that. It was like all these little crystal plushies.
Oh yeah, all the little bouncing crystal plushies.
They're so cool. Like, I love that animation. Like, trailers like that. As a guy who builds stuff all the time, that's just joy, icing on the cake of like what you're presenting to the world. And as a guy who builds stuff a lot, to do that is awesome.
I've got an idea of how to do the trailer for the second one with all the little plushies just on a beach, but I'll worry about that bridge when I get to it, because the plushie is going to launch in like a week or two, but that's just the initial funding for the first 200, and then when that's done, then Makeshift does their thing, and then the trailer comes out at a later point when the plushie actually goes on sale. But yeah, the plushie should be launching in a week, and then yeah, if the miniatures for the ships go well, we got to do miniatures for the characters, little crystal miniatures, little Farah and all the team miniatures, and I'll put them all back there.
No worries. I
It's
do have a
gonna the
guy
future's
who
looking really awesome for Starfox, as long as you're looking at fan stuff and not like official stuff.
it's all fan stuff. Like I know in our talks we are moving we are looking to move these like Wave 1 series and such to the Etsy or our Etsy channel or Etsy store, sorry, for C3D printing, and that way everybody can have access to this. But I mean, for us, I mean, yes, we do make them. We'll probably charge for them, but it's more of like a fan service to the fans. Like this is stuff you just won't get. The only R wings that I've ever seen come out were like collectibles, and they're giant. They look beautiful, or the thing from Starlink, which was okay.
Yeah, I highly doubt there's ever gonna be official merchandise of like the Harlock frigate from '64.
Or like let's go with a resin model of Andros, like with
Yeah.
2 hands floating up. Like there's magnetic.
Oh,
technology
I
that
just
can have his hands float.
I just realized, yeah, Andros' floating head in his hands is technically a boss. There's got to be a miniature of Andros and his two.
Yeah.
That'll just be a series by itself, like his head, like because his hands count as two different vehicles, so his head and his that'd be really awesome.
Collect them all series like this series 1, 2, 3 hand.
Yeah.
And if you open up the head, there's a brain in there.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I could do the brain and then the machine casing over the brain. Yeah, oh my god, there's so much that can be done. It's just Starfox really is like just such a untapped well. It really is crazy how not much has been done with Starfox since like 1997. Or was it 96 that 64 came out? I think it was actually it might have been 95.
Starfox
was it
came out in
96?
97.
Let me double check. Let me double check so I don't make a fool of myself.
96 when I was just a boy figuring out what grass was.
Starfox 64 was 97.
Oh, 97. Okay.
Yeah.
A message to you and Estelle. So, my business partner and I have been talking about, what can we give back to you two? Because, like I said, you guys are.
Oh, you don't need to give anything back. You're giving these things.
We are. So this is the model. We have one made. This one's yours. We're working.
Sweet.
We're going to send this off to you. Estelle,
oh, actually, you told me about this. Actually, I know what you're talking.
Yeah, I think I revealed it already. But
Estelle and Kyle don't know, so.
Estelle, we're going to send you one as well, and Kyle, we're going to send you one as well. Why I'm saying that is because you guys and the other voice actors as well have brought this to life. We can't thank you enough. So that's my prerogative. We will make these. It'll take some time, of course, because this is all resin. I will be painting them all up. The ailerons for this particular model can be magnetic and they can be changed out. The wings actually move. That's crap. And it has crap. Something else fell.
Yeah, you've got to paint Estelle's with like a different color scheme, like to match crystal. Maybe some gold trimming.
Gold, yeah, like add some like little swirls, like that little tattoo on her hip or something. That add that to the ship itself.
Or really, you could do the giant Cloud Runner R-wing. I don't know, whatever Estelle wants. I'm not gonna speak for her.
It's all good. It's all right. It's a little separate belt. Yeah, sorry, Ezra. I did just do a big broadcast of this in our last market, and it was all like hot glue together, and stuff started falling off. But yeah, I want to make those for you guys. My way of saying thank you. It's my gift to you guys. Bring it back to childhood fun, and just keep the Starfox dream alive. Like, hate to say it, but Nintendo's really dropped the ball.
Yeah, I'm really happy I had the opportunity to work on a Starfox game. Even the Zelda game I made too. Even though I stopped on it, I don't regret working on it, and I'm happy that I can actually make a Starfox thing. Like, and it looks like it's actually working. Like with the voice actors and everything. Like even let's just say, I finish the next Soria level and I release it, and then God forbid I drop dead, and like that I've already just that with the Lilat Wars of the Soria, I already released a Starfox game that's bigger than any of the other Starfox games. Like. So, like, even just already with what's done, like, I'm really happy I got a chance to like, actually make a Starfox thing. And people seem to like it, too. It's awesome.
Yeah, Ezra, yes.
And yeah, I got to work with freaking Estelle. Like, that was a dream come true. Like, I've already told the story a billion times in other streams, but like I'd been trying for 10 years to get in contact with her.
I love the story of how you met her.
Yeah, I'd been trying for
laughing.
like 10 years. I'll go ahead and tell it again because maybe some people in here haven't heard it, but back in, I think it was 2014 or 2015, I saw an interview with her, and I thought, it'd be really cool. Maybe she'd be willing to actually, because I think in the interview she said something that kind of hinted that she'd be interested in maybe doing fan stuff or something, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to try and contact her. And at that time, I knew someone who had a line to her, and I asked them to get into contact with her. And basically, long story short, I kept getting in contact with people that had a line to her, and it just kept not working out. And then in 2022, I once again, I had someone who had a direct line of contact with her, and I'm like, oh please, can you please get me in contact with Estelle Ellis? I'd love for her to voice Crystal in this game, to show her some of the footage from it, whatever, yada, yada, yada. And I won't go into details, but that contact I had, that bridge got burned, so to speak, and that person wasn't able to get in contact with her, and I'm like, I just give up. I decided to completely give up. I was just not going to bother anymore. I'd given up. And then a week later, I met Gagdatar, who knows her personally. And I'm like, oh my god, you gotta get me in contact with Estelle. And then,
my one chance.
and then about 2.5 weeks after that, I finally, got in contact with Estelle, and the rest is history. But I'd been trying for 10 years. I finally decided to just completely give up, and that was that. And then a week later, I met her, or I guess it was longer than a week, but several weeks later, I met her. So that's just really funny how that happened. Just kind of just almost by like a complete freak accident.
So good. Well, thank you so much for having me a part of this stream. I'm very honored to meet your community, to be a part of this experience, and I'm literally looking forward to the discussions we have because, this is going to be a lot of fun. We're making the dream a reality, and that's all I got. So
I guess that's a good place to end the stream. I don't normally talk about my personal life, but I've got to go to Joann's before they close down and get some stuff on sale for personal stuff. So
technically, I'm the person getting the stuff on sale, but whatever.
Yeah, technically, we're going to Joann's because I don't know if anyone in the audience is aware Joann's is going out of business or whatever, and they have a ton of sales and stuff right now. Also, fun little tidbit, and he's mentioned it on stream, but Gafford, the guy working on a Fox in Space, he used to work at Joann's back in the day, so there's a weird way to connect everything we're talking about with Joann's fabrics.
If I ever hear anything about the Northwest Territories and Starfox and somehow that's related, then I know for a fact I'm living in a simulation.
But anyway, that's the weirdest ending I could end on. So yeah, bye everyone. Estelle and I will probably be doing a stream in a week for the plushie, so might be back really soon. And I guess look for the trailer for these miniatures, or our official launch thing is probably going to be towards the end of May. So stay tuned for the miniature stuff. And any last words, or is that it? That sounded kind of ominous. Any last words?
That's all I got, bud. We'll keep on doing what we do, and I'll be in contact with you with the next plans.
All right. See you, everyone.